From Point Cook. How are you, Dave?
Yeah, good, mate. Hey, can you just tell me, what would the repercussions be if it come to the last round, you had a Geelong or a Collingwood or a St Kilda, game clear, the game's not going to affect the outcome of where they play in the finals, why would you play at Etihad?
Really throwing a curveball into the Triple M open line there, big Dave. Well, Alan, is it?
No, David.
I'm sort of looking for leading teams advice. I got thrown. What was the question again, Spud?
You're running it, Gary?
It's probably...
we're going to get back to that one. Did you answer?
It's a pertinent question, but if the fixture is as they have now identified games in round 22, if it's down for Etihad Stadium, that's where it'll stay.
All right, let's 1-333-5-3. This is the stuff that's going straight through to these people. Already Jake King, Nick Revolt, the Gold Coast Footy Club. Not sure about the last one. Alan from Taylor's Lakes has got some leading team style advice. Alan.
Yeah, going on a whack rocket Eid.
Right.
Why would he tell us members that we needed Acker to win a premiership, and then so far into the deal with Acker, he's now turned around and telling us we don't need Acker to win a premiership? And I want to know what draft pick we passed up on to take Acker and where that draft pick could be today, and who's he playing with? You know, we could have a kid in 3 years into his development instead of Acker that he's gone and dumped. So I want to whack him a good one.
Alan, $100 IGA Liquor open line, $100 IGA Liquor voucher for you, my friend, because I think that's some nice, passionate, sort of leading team stuff, Damo, that gets the job done.
And to answer Alan, I'm from memory, it was high 30s. Luke is checking it.
Yeah, they traded pick number 34 at Brisbane, and that was Chris Schmidt.
They didn't give up much to actually get him.
Nice one, Al. So you stay on the line, my friend. We'll get those details. This is good leading team style stuff. Richard from Hillside. G'day, Dick.
G'day, gentlemen. How are you going?
Good, my friend.
I'm a Carlton supporter, and it gives me the absolute irrits that the Carlton Football Club put that ball up with about 30 seconds to go and muck around with it when they're about 13 goals behind. That's all I want to say.
I tell you, we've got lots of nodding heads in here, Richard. You're talking about put that ball in the air and try and
tempo
just
footy,
kill the clock style.
Brent Thornton up in the air.
The clock.
All that does is say to the opposition team, we're under enormous pressure here, come at us. I think another $100 voucher for you, Dickie.
We're throwing them around like confetti.
This is leading team style, Jim.
I like it.
Yeah, this is when I run the talk back. I'm much more generous than you. Michael's on the line from Frankston. G'day, Mick.
G'day, Gary. How are you?
Who you got some leading team style advice for?
Buddy Franklin.
What is it?
Stop giving away the 50 metres at crucial times. Put your head in that thing before you do something.
I think, Mickey, I've run out of vouchers, sadly for you, but I think that's the sort of advice that Bud will get when he heads back to Hawthorn this week and sits in front of the group. Spud Regal?
He listens to Triple M, Buddy. I think he's taken on board now, Gary.
He does. So does Ruff. He listens and loves it. And I think, Michael, very well done. Sorry to give away 2 vouchers in a row. You missed out. Daniel from Newport. Yeah, Dan, you got some advice for someone?
Yeah, I've got some advice for you 3 sooks.
Right.
About last week and the food that you don't get.
Right.
Why don't you all harden up? There's a few of all of us other workers don't get food at all at work, and bring your own for a while.
Well, I tell you got us on a good day, Daniel, because we're just copping that from you, my friend, and I personally...
Piss off, Daniel. We're not copping that. Bloody hell. We're the upper echelon here. We don't just bloody bring our own drinks along. Jesus. We run our own food. Give us a spell.
Daniel, you leave James to us. We'll try and straighten him up.
Just an update on the scenario here last week.
What's happened?
Well, Etihad have taken it on board as well.
What, Nick?
Etihad Stadium have now got CCTV
inquiry
in the media and
trying to unravel the drinks.
They have, but I again can't disclose names, but apparently the same 2 or 3 are doing it at Etihad.
They've taken their gang and moved it.
Esky-like scenario at Etihad, and whilst the game's going on, someone's been going in before half-time and half emptying the Esky of Diet Coke
I'm
and
getting
lemonade.
grilled all around Melbourne on this at the moment.
Well,
interrogated.
Etihad have taken it on board as well.
Name
the MCC.
names.
It's down to 3, isn't it, Danny?
Yeah, 3 names. Can't divulge.
Can you sort of hint?
No.
Now, I just got an email here from, has this come from Ireland? Big Adrian? Oh no, it's from Victoria, but we'll pretend. Regarding the turf at Croke Park, the surface is called Deso Grass Master. It's used at various rugby soccer stadiums around the world. It's a modern development pitch design, couples natural grass with a stitching of synthetic fibres. Now, the close proximity of the stitching and the natural grass roots growing around the stitching is what gives the pitch its stability, and it's the key to the success of this type of surface. The system's imported in sports venues in Netherlands, England and the US. So it's just a little synthetic weave. And I think we should be looking at it.
Aguera style.
It's called Raguera style, exactly. Yeah, I like it. Hail hat.
Exactly, Big Haley.
Oh, I need a rest. I did a lot of work then.
What about Phil trying to suggest that we're like normal people out there in the workplace, Gary, and having to bring our own drinks and stuff? Where the hell's he come from? Get him back on, Phil.
No,
I have a piece of him. What's he on about?
That's fair enough.
Hey, Spud. Don't ever get down that path. Now, we love it, Phil. Good on you, brother. Triple M Footy, very 21st century now in the way we deal. Facebook and Twitter, of course. triplem.com.au. Sign up for both of them. You get behind-the-scenes photos, comments from the boys, of course. And while you're there, you can download the iPhone app for bugger all. And it is, by the way, on the first page of the iPhone's iTunes website. That's how popular it is. And you can also subscribe to the Rub podcasts, and they are unbelievable as well. Hear the whole lot. Everything we've discussed today, as well as Trent Cotchin, as well as Heath Shaw, as well as Shane Crawford, as well as Mark Evans. It's been a big show. You can podcast a lot. Exactly. The Triple M interior 360-degree feedback that, it has to be said, didn't go well.
Actually, can actually not put that up.
Yeah. So Triple M Footy caters for blokes who have a pulse, of course. Get stuck into all of that. We're going to a break. After this, full preview with Spud, Gaz, Rex, Doc, and also the two-man Damo. Take the rest of the day off.
Thank you, Joe.
Well done.
Well done, Damo.
For Bridgestone, the footy preview comes next. Thanks to McDonald's. Triple M rocks football.
It's been 6 months since we fixed the music on Triple M. Thanks to your advice, we took it from crap like this back to the rock you love. Now it's time for a checkup to make sure we're playing the best rock music we can. Sign up to Triple M's music jury at triplem.com.au and take part in Melbourne's biggest online music health check from the station that's committed to playing only Melbourne's best rock. Triple M.
Why do we use Penrite?
Well, it's higher rated with the extra 10 for better engine protection.
Well, I didn't use it in my last place.
Well, I dare say that they are not the fine purveyors of post-manufacture repair, care and conditioning using the finest diagnostic and clinical tools available. And I'd be very surprised, indeed flabbergasted, if they adhered to the little-known but highly regarded guidelines outlined in the Geneva Mechanic Protocols, which I believe were ratified only last week in Oslo, if my memory serves me correctly. I make myself clear.
Sort of?
Penrite oil with the extra 10 is a better class of oil, obviously used by a better class of mechanic.
Running a small business? You rock.
As Triple M Small Business Award partners, HP and Microsoft are offering a great deal on the latest HP Mini 5102 notebook PC.
It's light, comes with a tough metal case,
a 10.1-inch display,
spill-resistant keyboard,
Intel processor,
and pre-installed with Windows 7, which is designed to be more reliable, more responsive, and makes the things you do every day easier.
At just $599, it's a winner for your small business.
Visit hp.com.au/small business for more great offers from HP and Microsoft.
I'm Norm Robinson, and over the next few weeks you're going to see some commercials from the people who have been hurt as a result of my son's death. Luke was speeding when he crashed his car. My family and friends agreed to participate in a road safety campaign because we desperately want the community to be aware that this can happen to anyone. Speeding is the biggest killer on our roads. Slow down, or you and your family could be next.
Everybody hurts when you speed.
Nick the Tile Liquidator here. Tile Liquidators is the only tile company in Melbourne where every wall and floor tile is under $15 per square metre. At Tile Liquidators, we've got thousands of metres of wall and floor tiles displayed in one huge warehouse. And yes, right now, every tile is under $15 per square metre. So rush into Tile Liquidators now and save. Tile Liquidators, Smith Street, Port Melbourne, open 7 days.
Life's better with trees, and to keep them, we need to do something today for tomorrow.
Join Toyota and Planet Ark and plant a tree on Sunday, August 1 in support of one of Australia's biggest environmental initiatives, National Tree Day.
To get involved, visit toyota.com.au/tree day.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security, subconscious security.
You're talking about dreams?
From the director of The Dark Knight.
We create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's called Inception. I can access your mind through your dreams.
Inception, only in cinemas now showing.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks football.
This quarter is brought to you by Penrite, a better class of oil used by a better class of mechanic.
Welcome back to the MCG as we get ready for two big inner city clubs, Collingwood and Richmond, to do battle at this famous stadium. Big crowd here. And we're going to hear from Gary and Spud with a full preview in just a moment. Before we do that, the man who put the E into football entertainment, but also, and many people forget this, at their peril, a two-time premiership player for the Tigers back in the 70s. And Big Rexy, it's very nice to have you here.
Thank you very much, James. And I was just thinking in the Collingwood race, just watching the Collingwood side warm up, there were 5 blokes standing on the boundary who would get a game for Richmond today. I think people should take into consideration Collingwood are travelling beautifully as a team. Richmond, their banner says Richmond rules. Not quite yet, but they're on their way.
Well, it's an interesting one, Gaz and Spud, because traditionally, although maybe they're shaking this a little bit, Collingwood, but traditionally these are the sort of games they can battle with.
I think that's the big question today, James. Not going to over-analyse this to death, but Spud, for me, I think it'll be answered pretty quickly. Last week we sat here at the same time, looked at St Kilda and Collingwood and said the Magpies have got the capacity to raise a defensive sort of effort that can put any team under pressure. I've seen a couple of times. Last week they were fanatical, particularly in their forward half of the ground, and caused plenty of mistakes and turnovers from a very assured St Kilda side. They need to come with the same intensity today against the Richmond Footy Club, and if they do, they can make life easy for themselves, or easier as the day wears on, because this is still a young Tiger side that are developing and haven't quite established themselves as capable of dealing with the absolute intense pressure of top level footy. If they don't, and give these guys a little bit of a sniff, they're a young side that probably need momentum to give them a real chance. I fear that the Magpies will be in for a hard afternoon. I reckon we'll know inside 10 minutes.
There's no doubt in that. Looking forward to Jack Riewoldt play and Collingwood. Mick Malthouse is the master. They've got no doubt Presti will go in and look for Maxwell O'Brien. They will double, triple team Jack Riewoldt. They'll make sure that he doesn't have an impact on the scoreboard. Collingwood on top of the ladder goes, you're right, and your article in The Age was spot on. They've got depth, they've got numbers, they've got 4 or 5 guys who could readily come in to this game. The reason Mick Malthouse has got this team on top of the ladder is their team ethos. They're ranked 1 for inside 50s versus their opposition, up 11.5, versus Richmond are ranked 14th, -5 and a 6. Now, Collingwood are ranked 1 for tackles against their opposition. They're ranked 1 for tackles inside their forward 50. It's all about work rate. It's all about intensity. And you look at individuals, and Mick doesn't like to look at it, but you've got to have a look at Dane Swan. He's ranked 1 in the comp for disposals. The last 6 weeks, he has averaged 36 disposals. And more importantly, a little bit of a slide on his game a couple of years ago with his ball use. He's going above the league average. He's nearly going at 80% kicking effectiveness. So I think sides were allowed a couple of years ago, let him go free, doesn't hurt you. But now he's starting to hurt the opposition.
And Collingwood's spread of goal kickers is what has also been impressive. Didak leads with 26. He's a leading goal kicker, but the true man tells me they're ranked 2nd in attack for the competition. They average the most number of goal kickers per game in the comp. Go back to their premiership year, long time ago. Goals scored to this stage of the season, 251. At this stage, they've kicked 244 goals for the year. They are dangerous forward of the centre, but more importantly, they are unpredictable.
The flip side of that, Richmond averaged the least amount of goal kickers. That's due to the Jack Riewoldt factor. Matty Richardson was a star for the Tigers. It's great to see Riewoldt, but the last thing Damien Hardwick needs in his coaching tenure over the next 5 or 6 years is one go-to player. We've seen history, Lockett, Gary Ablett. The reason why St Kilda and Geelong won those games was the same reason they lost, because all the entries went to those stars. Richmond doesn't need that. Damien Hardwick doesn't need that either.
Fantastic contrast and a point really well made. On the one hand, you've got a one-man band, and the other hand, at the other end with the Collingwood Footy Club, you've got a very even spread. Let's go down to the boundary. I tell you, on a day like this, big crowd, inner city rivalry between two great traditional teams. Our man is the best in the business, Dr. Peter Larkins, and he's there for SPC Man Beans.
All right, Gary, this is a good atmosphere down here. The Tigers and the Pies, as you said, two great clubs, very vocal supporters, lots of yellow and black, lots of black and white, Gary. You can expect if it's a bit of biff or a little bit of close game, we're going to hear lots of it. So really good conditions at the moment, Gary. They had a little bit of misty rain early on, just put a little bit of dew on top of the ground, but now it's dried away and virtually pretty still. Watching shots on goal as both players warm up. The Tigers at the punt road end, the beloved end, Gary. Doesn't seem to be much drift in the kick, so no concerns about that side of things. This surface in absolutely pristine shape. Pretty good crowd coming in, Gary. They're tipping 75 plus here today. Yeah. So that's the MCC's tip. So let's see how they get there. It looks like that all gates are closed outside, Gary. If you're not here, you're not getting in the car park.
Go easy on the SBC Man Beans down there, Doc. We don't want a silly international incident. Let's have a look. I tell you that the Richmond Army, if they kick a couple early, Spud Regal, you just wait for that magnificent guttural roar.
They're coming, Gary, slowly but sure. There's no doubting that. Daniel Jackson's another big out. You look at the Dane Swan factor, Didac. He would be ready-made. Daniel Jackson, unfortunately, he's out through suspension as well.
Everyone is up and about. We've had our leading team's feedback. One man that missed that feedback, and we may have to put him through the ringer at some stage, is the little wee midget chew man who is here, the best stats man, two-time premiership stats man. He's here for Carlton Draft, of course. Chewer, have you got anything you want to put on the table before you give us a quick, sharp stat?
I'm prepared to go through the process, Gary. It's one in, all in.
Might be on after the game, depending on how we go and depending on how you go. What do you got for Carlton Draft?
Well, Doc touched on the crowd. The last 5 encounters between these two sides have averaged 63,500. Collingwood's percentage of 135. That's their best percentage after 16 rounds since 1967. Just a couple of quick stats here. For Richmond, 83% of their goals come from the corridor. That's ranked number 1 in the competition, opposed to Collingwood at 74, ranked 11th. And for the Tigers, the other positive for them is against their opposition, they're ranked 1 in clearance as opposed to Collingwood, ranked 7th. And for the TAB Sportsbet, Gary, head-to-head, Magpies $1.10 to the Tigers $7.
Interchange benches have been sorted out and determined. Dr. Smooth, who will be starting on the Pine?
Yeah, a lot of changes for both sides, Gary, but I'll do the Pine. The Collingwood with Dane Beams on the Pine, Sherrod Wellingham, Tarkin Lockyer, the veteran, and Jared Blair, the youngster. For Richmond, Mitch Farmer on the bench, Robbie Nahas, one of our favourites, Andrew Brown on the bench, and Jeremy Webberley, or Jeremy Webberley. Yeah, Webberley on the bench for the Tigers, Gary.
Beautifully done. Nick Maxwell back into this side, has won the toss and is elected to kick to the right of your radio dial, or the city end, so the punt road boys will be kicking to the punt road end. Spud Regis, how do you see it?
You just think Collingwood are going to win this because of the depth of players. Their average winning margin against Richmond the last 2 times they played has been 69 points. I think Mick Malthouse will be really worried about their mindset. That is a terrific win against St Kilda last week, Collingwood. I think this game's going to be played above the shoulders. If Collingwood are switched on, they're ready to go. They should win by 6 to 7 goals. But in saying that, Richmond, they're plucky. They got smacked last week against North Melbourne. Wet conditions. They won the 4 previous before that. Damien Hardwick would have given them a nice short back and sides. So look to come out there breathing fire the Tigers.
Get your eagle eyes out, Spud, and just keep them on Alan Didac and Jake the push-up king. A man that has copped a bit of criticism from the Triple M box, who has done something unprecedented almost, and that is turned the tide of our opinion, and we've embraced him. So watch him go about it. And as James Brayshaw rightly pointed out, one of Richmond's favourite sons, I reckon he gets a little bit of spring in his step. Not that he hasn't had it all year. He has been a revelation and absolutely turned the ratings tide here. But I reckon you're up and about today there, Rexy boy.
Well, I certainly am, Gary, and this brings back great memories of what suburban football used to be like. Talking to Terry Waters down there, you can see the scars still in my scone from him jumping on my head in 1931 when he jumped on my head out there at Victoria Park. But this is what the AFL competition, the national competition, is about now. But this celebration of Richmond and Collingwood takes me back years. Richmond are on the up. Collingwood today, they wouldn't want to take this mob a little bit lightly because they'll be in trouble.
Well, they've got two of the best halfbacks in the comp at the moment, the Tigers, Deledio and Chrissy Newman. Newman uses the ball beautifully. Look for Deledio. Will he get a defensive type set up like Sammy Gilbert got?
As I pointed out, Jim, Jake the push-up king has done something unbelievable, and that is turn our opinion around to the point where he's almost embraced as one of ours.
Push up.
He's going into the centre. Didak is in there. He's not even gone to him yet. He's just eyeing him from across the circle.
Yep.
Stand by, keep your eye on Dustin Martin. He is a superstar in the making.
Umpire holds the ball aloft and we're ready to get underway in this big game. Thanks to Triple M and McDonald's, we're rocking footy. Here's Rex.
It was knocked out by the big bloke Graham and went to tuck, and Richmond go forward. Nick Maxwell came in and he fumbled it. The ball went out now to Johnson. Johnson got it to Swan. Oh my goodness me, fumbling the ball down there was O'Brien, and it's at centre half back, picked up there by young Martin. He got it going forward towards Nason. Plough said the umpire kicked out a free kick.
Both times they've gone forward. This is a bad sign. Richmond forwards have been caught behind.
It's going to go to Sack and go to Didak, who got it out half back flank right, members side Reed.
And Reed's able to just look ahead, not a hell of a lot to go to. He goes down the line, good kick, perfect kick. Got it to McCaffer on the wing.
Took 3 goals last week, McCaffer.
And McCaffer then looks upfield for Dawes, and that's a nice Jukish mark. Hand off to Leon. Getting out the back, Leroy Brown. Mark! And he could have run on and kicked a goal. Instead of that, he'll go back 15 out directly in front, City end.
Magnificent play there, Dawes. Good grab. Quick handball to Leon Davis. Lee Brown kicked 3 goals last week in a defensive role. Looks like he's got Chrissy Newman. So this will be a bit of a blow for the Richmond skipper if Lee Brown kicks this.
Yeah, and well, let's just wait and I'll give you thoughts on Richmond's forwards.
No, he's going to kick it. He's only about 15 out, almost directly in front, so it's harder for him to miss this, big Leroy. And he does! Unbelievable! Halfway up the post, Gary!
He did say if he kicks it.
That is extraordinary, Spud. Very nice work from you early. Collingwood one behind. Richmond yet to score. That is incredible. Well, Triple M Penrite all scored.
We asked for a little sign, Spud. We asked for a little sign early that the absolute fanaticism and concentration from Collingwood was there, and maybe that's an indicator it's not.
Newman kicked it out, and here comes Brown again, and he's taken a mark. He's on the left boot now and goes to centre half forward, but Jake King got in front of Didak. Took a mark at centre half back at the City end, so a little bit of complacency, maybe. He was in the goal square. He hit the right post and was lucky to do that. This is King, and King's kick went out to Cousins. Cousins marks it in front of Brown, left half back flank, brings it along the members' wing, and a shocking kick. It was meant down there for Morton, but over the boundary line, right in front of the dock on Triple M football dock.
Rick, I was watching Leroy Brown after that shot on goal. I thought he was throwing some dirt off the ground. He picked up an umpire's whistle and threw it 40 metres into the crowd, almost off the ground. It was lying on the turf.
Work to the front. Tuck a little piece of it, and a couple of players had a piece of him. Going to have a bounce at half forward for the Pies.
Brett Delidio's getting into the Heath Shaw Gilbert stage, Spud. He's the running, rebounding halfback. The Magpies need to put a fair bit of defensive work into him.
Graham worked it down. Tuck couldn't get a piece of it again. He was dispossessed. Going back in to get it was the big boy Graham. Eventually the clearance though for Collingwood. Johnson. Game number 200 around the body. Sits it into the hot spot. No one there. Dawes hits up with the footy. Handball off. Dane Swan kick went straight into an opposition player. Luke Ball able to pick it up. And then eventually the Tigers. A handball over the top for Martin. Bounce was no good for him. Daisy Thomas there as well, and the ball's out again. Same spot, right half forward. City end.
A couple of forward entries. I reckon Lee Brown should have taken a shot then, Spud. You may be trying to be a bit cute, and that's what I'm saying. If it had been against St Kilda, where they think the opportunities are going to be harder to come by, he probably would have.
Graham goes in front of Jolly, but Jake King thumped it out the back. Here comes Thomas of Collingwood. Got it to Pendlebury. Got it across there to the sack. Goldsack in problem. Now it was the boy Collins who took it off and hand passed it out in front. He tried to get it going, but Didak's picked it up. He's too experienced to let him get in there. Polo came in.
Free kick to Didak.
Downfield, Luke Ball, your kick against Andrew Collins.
And the doc picks up a thing like a whistle thrown into the crowd. The others are still taking their seat, JB.
No idea, Rexy, and that's why he's the best. Sideways ball at half-back for Collingwood. Sets O'Brien a task. He manages it well. Over the top to Presti. Just got to pump a long one down the outer side. Side bottom at the back. Couldn't take the mark. It's near the boundary out there. Numbers with the Magpies. They bring it away. Inside 50 just to Leon. And he slides it over the top to Pendlebury. Bit of frontal pressure there for that player. Goes back and picks it up. Just inside the field of play. Left foot centering ball. But a comfortable mark taken by Collins for the Tigers.
I want you to have a look at the Didac Jake King matchup all day, Stuart.
Collins got a call from Cousins, who took the mark. Left half-back flank members side City in.
Being messy going forward, Collingwood, Rexy. I'm going to get from two-man marks from opposition kicks.
It's 2 to Richmond, 0 to Collingwood. Carlton draft
down onto the wing, the sack. He did well, Reid, to keep his opponent out of it, and the sad sack, Gold sack, got it on to Ball. Ball's under a bit of pressure, underground hand pass down to Thomas. The ball was out, but not completely. The lace was still back in. It went centre half forward to Dawes. Coming through, Graham can't take it. Now side bottom was tackled by Polo, and the umpire said the tackle was good enough to be rewarded.
Here is Nason out wide. He's got Revolt further afield, who's pressed right up. Takes it on the wing, nothing to go to. Got to hold it up.
His direct opponent, Simon Prestigiacomo, looked to double team Revolt. They'll be happy with that. Collingwood, him marking the ball in the wing.
Maxwell loose in the hole.
Shocking kick from Revolt. Looking for Edwards. It was chopped out by Jolly. His handball over the top. Ended up with Swan. They're a bit messy, Collingwood, Gary.
They are, no doubt.
Johnson now picks it up and steps on through. Kicks a real tumbler inside 50. McCaffer has taken it. 20 out, not much angle.
Well, it is a messy game from both sides. And this is what I'm really disappointed with Richmond, because they've been given an opportunity here. The door is ajar. Collingwood are saying, look, we're not on, we're missing targets, but they just haven't grabbed a hold of it, the Tigers, at all.
Yeah, if we had been at Etihad, we'd be saying he slipped over Daniel Connors, he slipped over on the OPSM replay screen. Crucial stage to spoil the ball on McCaffer. Not sure what footwear he's wearing.
Right. Not sure if he'll kick it, Spud. 15 out, not much angle, and that is better. 1-1 Collingwood. Richmond yet to score. Triple M Penrite all scoreboard.
35 possessions to 15. They just can't get their hands on it. And the reason they're not able to get their hands on it is it gets turned over too often from a Richmond point of view. And maintaining possession has always been a great challenge for them. But right now, this is where you've got to realise, young side or not, more important than it ever has been against a very good side like Collingwood, you've got to complete the play. You've got to put them under pressure. They're giving you a chance, Bud.
And Jack Riewoldt had the ball. He was the guy that started the turnover. He should know better. You've got to bring other forwards into the game. He was on the logo. He had to hit a Richmond jumper there. He didn't. It went straight down to McCaffer, who reads the play beautifully.
Richmond have got to understand there's more than one player up forward, and they can use that to advantage. At the moment, it's a 7-point lead to Collingwood. This is Triple M football, and thanks to Penrite Oil. The ball knocked out by Jolly. It went now down towards Martin, and he's kicked a half forward.
Third time a Richmond forward has been caught behind. You'd get out and foot him up the backside, Rex.
That was Polo. You can do it with your size 11, and it went to Nick Maxwell. Kicked it out onto the centre wing. Here comes a player there in Sharrod Wellingham. Took a mark. He wanted to play on. The umpire said, now you can go back. Now start to move it on. That was the whistle you heard on Triple M. A long, long ball down towards Davis. Over the top. It went further afield. Now the Tigers are going to bring it back through Nahas. He got it off to Newman. He got it off further afield. Now this is going to be Martin. They're a bit lucky, Richmond, as they get it to Nason, who takes a bounce and runs outside 50.
Got running support next to him in the form of Nahas. And he will just go with a little ball and find Revolt again on the wing.
It's a long way from home. This is your best forward. A long, long way from home.
See something at centre half forward.
Lazy.
He get him off.
Lazy, disgraceful decision to kick it there.
Wellingham turned it over. Nason's able to pick it up again. Nahas at centre half forward. They've missed him twice. High ball. Good luck marking that. Post is going to come from the back. Hands to it. Couldn't take it. Here's Nahas taking high. Free kick.
No, you got him over the shoulder.
Unbelievable display of lazy football. Imagine if Jack Riewoldt was on the end of those two kicks that he just delivered going forward.
Well, he's had two kicks, went straight to the opposition. The thing about it was his body language when he had the ball. He's telling his teammates to move. There was two players in the right position. He just blazed away. He's got to think about team all the time, Jack Riewoldt.
Not a hell of a lot in that free kick for Nahas, but he'll take a shot. Punt road end. Only about 35 out. Good chance for the Tigers first here. It is just going to miss. Right-hand side. 1 point. Richmond, 117 Collingwood. Triple M Penrite all scoreboard.
Just wonder why he's so far up the ground in the first place, Sputter. And I know they've got to develop some different forward options, but give him a chance. Oh,
Torpy!
Sack!
It's a long bomb by the gold sack, and right over the top was punched away there by Brown. Now Swan ran on into the centre, and here comes Lockyer. Lockyer hand passed it over the top to Brown, who's got the goal this time.
Jeez,
it was a coast-to-coast job with the sack going thump with a ball burster, and Brown kicking the goal he should have kicked 5 minutes ago. And Collingwood go to 2-1-13. Richmond are 1 behind 1 point. Triple M Penrite all scoreboard.
As sure on the Carlton draft stats, not sure whether you've got this one. I want to know what the quickest goal from a kick-in is, because that is right up there. We'll have a look on the OPSM replay screen. Goal sack, if the ball had a bounce, Gary, it would have landed just before the centre circle. Went forward, you had 3 Collingwood players on their own because Richmond were all up defending space.
Gee, it's a great tool if he can do it. And they must know that he's been practicing those kicks, because, right, that just set the whole thing back. Defender in the middle of the ground had to punch the ball forward, let it over the back.
Dane Swan free kick. Holding to Dane Swan.
There we are. So Dane Swan's going to end up with a free out of the middle. 2-1-13 Collingwood, 1 behind Richmond.
Just had it on the OPSM replay screen. 12 seconds on my little stopwatch.
Sheepers. Here's Leroy Brown at the back, playing some inspired footy. Big Leroy couldn't take that mark. Now it's out. Half forward right for Collingwood heading to the city end.
It's been an interesting shag. That big fella for the Tigers.
It's getting around the grounds for the TAC, Chua.
JB, Geelong lead the Lions by 11 points, 11 minutes into the first quarter.
Side bottom over the top. Didacker look away. And now the Tigers have got some issues inside forward 50, although it's close to the boundary. Cousins came in and was ragdolled over the line with a footy, and it'll be thrown in.
Jack Revolt is now past the centre circle into the defensive half for the Tigers, and no one, they got, McGuan is behind him, and also Post.
Knocked out by Jolly. Here comes a man in Blair. He was tackled. The umpire will bounce again. Right half forward, sitting into the ground member's side. We've gone 11 and a half into the first quarter. Collingwood 2-1-13. Richmond 1 behind 1 point.
Polo, not McGuan.
Jolly was grabbed by Brown with the knee of Richmond, who knocked it on further. Looking over there for young Farmer. The ball now.
Check side.
It is a magnificent kick by McCaffrey to get his second goal. That was opportunism, and that is Collingwood's go. They're 3-1-19. Richmond are 1 behind 1 point. Triple M Penrite all scoreboard.
Panic station, Spuddy Regal. The kicking efficiency of the Richmond Footy Club is at 36%. Collingwood just under 80. That is going to absolutely slaughter you.
And McCaffrey is kicking second goal. He's going at 100%, and you're right, that is one thing, Richmond aren't getting the ball. When they do, they're turning over. In the midfield, they've turned over 6 of their 7 kicks in the midfield, so you can understand why Jack Revolt's playing up the ground a little bit. The ball's just not getting down there.
Inside 50s, 9-3 Collingwood's way, and they lead the contested ball 18-8 Carlton draft.
Stink written about it at the minute.
Work down by Jolly. Richmond now trying to scramble out of the middle, unable to do so. Tuvey had a little piece of it. Lee Brown sticks his head over it and gets an inching kick forward. Here comes Didac with some room to move. Slaps it to McCaffrey, who's kicked a couple. He's just outside 50. Gets corralled, stands up, low ball to Lockyer. Drops what he should have taken. And Richmond through Deledio, able to do some ducking and weaving and get themselves out of it. Farmer goes back, and they can regroup from the last line of defence. Across field, Swan made a murder, picked it up, tumbled it back forward. It went through everyone, and again the Tigers' defence in all sorts. This is Cousins, able to pick it up, gave it straight to Swan, walked in, kicked another one. 4-1-25 Collingwood, 1 behind Richmond. Triple M Penrite all scoreboard.
Well, it's amazing how long we're going. Going 13 and a half minutes in the Carlton draft. Richmond have not had an effective kick in the forward half. from the start of this game of footy. So the forward half of Richmond, every time they got the ball, it's just come back with interest. Dane Swan, he had one kick, it didn't work, just kept at the game again. He's already had 7 disposals. Daniel Jackson sitting in the grandstand saying, well, I've been undisciplined, I've been out for 2 or 3 weeks under suspension. Swan's just on fire again. 7 possessions, Spud. Tuvi's playing half forward. He's got responsibility for Delidio, which we talked about a little earlier in the piece. But they're going to make a decision right now, Richmond. They are going to get absolutely pounded if they don't dig in, put their head over the footy and win some contested football.
Well, they need to have a go, and Graham went up. He knocked it down to Edwards. Edwards hand passed it. He was looking for, I think, King, and King's got it. Comes around on his left boot and kicks it out, and this will be Connors. So Connors has marked it. On the left half back flank on the members' side. He's kicked a hope kick, and it's going to go to Harry O'Brien, but here comes Edwards, who did it well. The umpire called play on. The hand pass was off to Nahas. Nahas ran to centre half forward, kicked a long ball down, but again Richmond are behind. You've got to get in front. Reed took the mark, got it across Wellingham. Wellingham went out to O'Brien. He can't take it. Running onto the ball, Edwards again did well. He was driven into the ground by Davis, and the umpire said, that's right, it was.
That's sprawling. But anyway, he's got the free kick. Get yourselves in front, Tiger forwards. Every single time you're caught behind and Collingwood defenders marking.
Picked up by Connors, swings it to the outer side of the ground. Farmer's out there. Further afield, they can head in with Jeremy Webberley. Inside 50, here's Revolt!
Lovely pass.
Nice one.
Lovely pass.
Just about 35-40 out. That's how he hits up at the pill when on form, the big boy Revolt.
Well, it's the first time they've had an effective kick, and it's a pretty simple game sometimes. You lead, you hit the target, got double teamed there. Jack Revolt, not sure where Presty was.
Well, here he goes to kick the Tigers first. Much, much needed. Oh, the kick looks real wobbly. Looks horrible.
No, Webberley kicked it, didn't he?
Missed the lot. Nason tries to get back in touch with it. Morton had a little piece. Wellingham was there as well. It's just inside the field of play now. It's out. Deep left forward pocket, punt road end. Richmond haven't scored a goal yet. They're 1 point. Collingwood are 4-1-25.
So they hit their best target because he started deeper into closer to goals.
Left half forward, Tigers punt road end. It went to Tuck, and he got a quick kick over the head of Revolt, and running onto it will be, this is side bottom. Side bottom got it, put it on the left boot and went outside. Oh, nearly a mark. Play on, said the umpire. Dawes couldn't, Tui couldn't take it. The hand pass on. Now Pendlebury got it on further afield, and this is Beams, and Beams now was dispossessed, but he got a hand pass back to Pendlebury, who's now going to hand pass it long. And look over there for 2V. He got a hand pass off to Ball and to centre half forward. Collingwood are just absolutely killing them. And it is going to be Dawes to line it up. What is he? He's 40 metres out directly in front. This is a procession.
Yeah, well, don't necessarily blame the defenders either, because they got no capacity to lock the footy in their forward half at all, Richmond. And once they're out, the spread of Collingwood is slicing them apart, and the defenders are almost powerless in the end.
Collingwood at the moment lead by 24 points. And here comes Chris Dawes, runs through 50 and kicks it. It's on its way. This has gone on and through the eye of a needle. Collingwood 5-1-31, carving up Richmond, one behind 1 point. That's on the Triple M Penrite All scoreboard.
Well, Spud, what he does, Damien Harvick, and has resisted all year, is the willingness or temptation to put numbers behind the footy. And I admire him for that. I mean, it's not about this year for Richmond, it's about years going forward. So you run the risk of getting a pounding, as we're looking at right now. I just hope for their sake, and obviously this big crowd's sake, that they decide to make a stance here. For me, their forward line is an absolute rabble right now. And every time they go in, rather than trying to make the most of their number one prize man, Jack Revolt, they've got blokes around him who aren't as talented or aren't as advanced, caught behind their men. The ball's coming back like a trampoline. Get out and give him a chance.
Around the grounds for the TAC, Chua.
Geelong by 29 points over Brisbane, 5-2-32 to the Lions, 3 behinds, 18 into the first.
And Andy Collins, the best exponent of that from Richmond. Goldsack, his direct opponent, has taken 3 marks in Richmond's forward 50.
Long inside 50 again for Collingwood. No one able to latch onto it. Blair, the little man, gets a handball back over the top to McCaffer. It comes back to that boy Blair. Centering ball from him. Fitz Pendlebury 45 out, 45-degree angle.
Andy Collins needs to go and take his man to the other side of the ground, Goldsack, and get the hell away from Revolt. Anyway, it's going to be a competition at the minute, Jim, to see which is the biggest margin, here or down at Skilled Stadium.
Well, Pendlebury to shoot to the city end. And the journey shouldn't be beyond him. He'll kick from about 50. So a question of accuracy here for Scott Pendlebury. This for number 6. It doesn't look like a great kick. Missed a lot out in the full. 5-1-31 Collingwood, 1 behind Richmond. Triple M Penrite all scoreboard, 19.5 in first term.
The real issue for Richmond too, Delidio and Newman, their best ball carriers out of the back half, have only had one disposal each as well.
Yeah, Tuvey doing a great job.
So Asprey kicked the long ball out in hope rather than anything. Brown with a knee got thumped down there. He went down and hand passed to Cousins. Richmond trying to get it through Webley. Webley now brought it across and got it to his skipper in Newman, who got the call onto the centre wing. Now the Tigers are out on the wing position. And will this set it? Will nicely for Morton. Morton now kicked a long ball down and Polo is up. He can't take it. Revolt tackles Presti. Running onto it, Collins. He got a head-high tackle. Surely that's a free kick.
It's goal sack.
Careful coming front on him. Yep.
Front on, head-high tackle. And Collins is in the left forward pocket. Runs around, opens it up and kicks a goal. The Tigers have got their first major. Richmond going to 1-1-7. They trail Collingwood 5-1-31. Triple M Penrite all scoreboard. A goal to Andrew Collins.
Dare I say it, I hope the young fellow learns from it. Get him on the ground. Move him around that forward line rather than sitting in a hole expecting the footy to drift over his head and take a mark 20 metres out from goal. He's a very talented player. He's courageous. I've seen him play over the past 3 weeks. We're not sure contested marking in the slot's going to be his absolute strength.
It's about game sense for these young Richmond forwards. They have to understand the ball's not coming down cleanly and it's not coming down quick, so you've got to present, you've got to be in front, use your direct opponent as a starting point, and as you said, don't wait for the one over the top, because it looks like in the first quarter it's not coming over the top.
Carlton Draft Stats leading ball winners for the Magpies, 7 to Watt Swan, 6 to McCaffrey. For the Tigers, 5 to Edwards.
31 plays 7, Collingwood out of the middle again. Smothered ball by Newman on Pendlebury. Numbers now with King over the footy. Dispossessed. Tuck came through. Handball out wide. Leon's going to run onto it on the wing. Handball back to Swan. Racking him up again. He goes to O'Brien with a little bit of room to move on the logo. Good shepherd from Maxwell. And he goes inside 50, but the kick's no good. And Rance takes an uncontested mark in the end. Gives the handball off. And Webley will come in search of Morton, who got some treatment as he took that mark across half-back. And no 50 the result. So Mitch Morton able... He's going to do a little bit of sideways business here. Oh, no. I don't like what I'm hearing as Rance... don't tell me. Don't tell me.
We couldn't be.
Rance comes to Newman, half-back, members' side in front of the darker green seats. We can't be out first up, surely. Collins on the wing. Goes forward. Polo, good mark taken by him.
Swing and go.
Now you've got some work over the top. Here's the push-up King.
Oh, yes.
Takes a mark inside 50, tightish angle. About 35 out.
Well, they're separating all of a sudden for the first time. We're out of the quaddy. We picked nearly every damned horse in the first leg. They are separating the Collingwood defence and not making it as easy, not being as predictable. And so they're having a couple of shots at goal, which is better.
Jake King to the punt road end. Tight angle, no real distance. 35 out. Will take a good kick, and it ain't a good kick. He's hung it out to the right or behind. So 1-2-8 Richmond, 5-1-31 Collingwood, Triple M Penrite all scoreboard.
We need another leading team session, specifically on the quaddy. I reckon we had 14 of the 16 and missed it.
We should have just had the field. I did say the field.
Oh, now we're turned.
So Johnson kicked it outside looking for Thomas, and Thomas has got it. And Thomas now, long hand pass right over the top to Swan, who just did it wonderfully well. He's a champion. He took a bounce and he ran long and kicked it to Davis. Oh, hit him on the mush. Jolly went over the top of the football. He was tackled. Now the umpire, I think, will put it down on the left half forward flank on the Great Southern Stand side. Collingwood going forward, and they lead by 23 points.
Shane Tuck got to tighten up on Dane Swan. Make it a contest.
There he is again, Gary. Handball back, looking for Thomas. Couldn't quite find him. It's out, and to be thrown in out of sight.
In the end, or do you go, let's put Cousins on him and try and just have a shootout? Because they're powerless at the moment to stop Dane Swan, as they were last week and the week before. He had 40-something over in Adelaide.
Dustin Martin be the one that I'd be looking for. He can hurt him with his feet and his run.
Graham to the back. Edwards taken by the arm, released the footy. There is Dustin Martin, unable to get it out of there. Ball was strong, got the handball forward to McCaffer, who coughs it up to Cousins. Looks to handball the ball. Eventually gets it away. Edwards is clear. Now Cousins is clear on the wing. Again a forward handball. This to Collins. Collins looks to Revolt. Free kick down the ground.
Well, possession count now sits at 71-77, so they've evened it up, they've closed the gap a bit, they're starting to run and share the footy. It was all one way in the first 15 minutes, but a little bit of composure has come back into the young Tigers.
It's against Reid for a late hit. So Revolt had one shot at goal, didn't make the distance from here. This one is working its way back. It's there. Oh, they're in the game suddenly, Richmond. 2-2-14, Collingwood 5-1-31. Triple M Penrite Oil scoreboard.
Shane Edwards, he's the one in the midfield the last 10 or 12 minutes. He's had 7 disposals on the Carlton draft. More importantly, he's won 5 contested possessions, and that's where Richmond were getting smacked at the start of the game. So he's got in and under, and he's got the work rate going. More importantly now, Richmond are starting to use the ball. 10 minutes ago, Gary, you said Richmond are going at 36%.
Yep.
Now they've gone it up to 63, which means the last 12 minutes they're going about 80% by foot.
Isn't it just amazing? I mean, that tells the whole story. Don't hand the ball, but it's hard enough to get your hands on the footy in this game. Don't hand it back to the opposition, and that's what they did early. Much better the last 10 to 15.
And Revolt getting his first for the day joins Collins as Richmond's goal scorers out of the centre. This is Collingwood's ball. Advantage played. Kick to the left half forward flank. Over the head of Leroy Brown. And running it on over there is Rance, and he kicked it out. What a good mark that was to Morton. So Morton now will bring it back to centre half, back to Rance, but he dropped it. Lockie Ayres going to absolutely hover over the top and put pressure. And the ball goes out of bounds. A bit sloppy, Richmond. And on the Triple M Penrite All scoreboard, Collingwood 5-1-31, Richmond 2-2-14.
Again, the footy thrown in. Left half forward, Magpies in attack going to the city end. Graham worked it down. Martin had it held to him. And a free kick going Dustin Martin's way. Squaring ball to Nahas at centre half back. Takes them on. Shows a bit of the footy. Here they go through Delidio. And then Collins. Nice ball around the body. Farmer's worked on Leroy Brown. Picked it up, did Farmer. Looks to Revolt as they always do. Revolt hand to it, couldn't take it. Now the numbers with Collingwood, Big Presty. Nason chases him out, but he gets a big long ball down the line, and McCaffer at the back takes a very, very clever mark for Collingwood.
He did, and he got a quick sight on that boy in Didak. Didak bounces it, but lose control. Screaming for the ball is Dawes, but the ball is in the hands now of Sidebottom, and he went short. Here's Blair, and here's Davis on his own in the goal square. Marks goals. Collingwood in complete control again now. They go to 6-1-37, Richmond 2-2-14, Triple M Penrite All scoreboard.
I was about to say the last 2 minutes disposals, Richmond 34, Collingwood 11. But that just displayed the ball use. Collingwood went coast to coast through the middle of the ground. There was a great option there to hit Blair up. Blair turned around, had the awareness to hit Leon Davis. He looks like he's ready to play, Leon Davis. It's one thing that Collingwood would love Leon Davis leading into the finals to get into some form.
But I reckon there's a clear message for Richmond. They look most dangerous and the Magpies at least vulnerable when they play on and take the game on. And as scary as it is, they'll turn a few over, maybe cost you some goals. But if they play on quickly and share the footy around, it gives them the best chance to score against this Collingwood outfit.
Around the grounds for the TAC.
It's quarter time. Geelong by 29 points. The Cats 5-2-32. Brisbane 3 behind.
Swan another clearance, but he kicked it straight into Deledio. It's 37-14 here in favour of the Maggies. Ball. Kicks it to half forward. Just gets it to Didak, who wheels and goes. Inside 50. Lockyer dropped it off his bootlaces. And the Richmond Footy Club can reload at half back.
He had nothing up the line, and in the end, he had to try and go short. The Nahas did the young boy in Connors and turned it out. But that's a structure thing. They're on the back foot when the Magpies are on the march. You've just got to try and match it on the way back. You've got to be brave. You're probably going to lose, but you've got to be brave.
Ball to the hot spot. Dawes in good position here. Graham kills it from the back. And I think that might be Jake the push-up king. Just able to work it out wide to Nason. Nason hasn't got much to go to, so he just punches it down the line, and there's no one there, Gary.
So that's the composure we're talking about. He had to stop, be prepared to hold on to it and come back inside.
Reed's able to just pick it up all alone and get it to Daisy Thomas and then O'Brien in the defensive 50 punt road end.
Oh, down the middle, boom.
There we are. Quarter time. Pretty impressive Collingwood work to do for Richmond. 6-1-37, the Collingwood Footy Club. 2-2-14, the Richmond Football Club. And where that is on the Penrite All scoreboard, of course, look for mechanics that use Penrite. They'll look after your car better when it needs a service. Gary Patey, Brendan Burke, the Diamond family, great supporters of Triple M footy. We really appreciate that. Just that quarter time score from Still Chua.
Geelong 5-2-32, Brisbane 3 behind, 29 points to the margin, JB.
All right, Gary, Spud and Rex next, along with the Doc. As thanks to McDonald's, Triple M rocks football.
This quarter was brought to you by Penrite, a better class of oil used by a better class of mechanic.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks football. Shut up!
G'day, it's Mark McVeigh here from the Essendon Football Club.
G'day, it's Will Minson from the Western Bulldogs.
G'day, Nick Reebok from the Mighty Saints here. Make sure you tune in to Triple M Footy.
Tonight from 6, Triple M rocks football with North Melbourne and Essendon. Tomorrow from noon, it's Melbourne and the Sydney Swans.
Keep listening to Triple M Footy.
Shut up! For McDonald's, Triple M.
Triple M. Triple M.
Rocks football.
After the footy, are you going home to a cold house? We'll talk to Bonaire, the leaders in home heating and cooling. We've got the hottest deals in whole-of-home gas ducted heating, including the compact's new M series. You can stay as warm as toast, even if you freeze at the footy. Call Bonaire now on 1300 152 387 or visit bonaire.com.au and get some winter cheer. Bonaire, the leaders in heating and cooling.
You're back there.
Thanks, Dave.
And all right.
I'm getting there. You know, I actually missed this.
Injured workers who return to work, return to life.
Fancy a dance?
Sure, Dave. When you've had some lessons.
Return to work. Return to life. A message from WorkSafe.
The Hard Yakka bloody oath. Hard Yakka promised to make the toughest workwear. To listen to the people who wear the stuff and make it as tough as they want it to be. As tough as they need it to be. They'll never forget that these guys choose their gear as if their lives depend on it. Because they do. Products that build on over 75 years of tradition. That's Hard Yakka's bloody oath. Hard Yakka, nothing's tougher.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
You talking about dreams?
From the director of The Dark Knight.
We create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's called Inception. I can access your mind through your dreams.
Inception, only in cinemas now showing. How do you unlock the Lockwood toolbox? You could try drilling it, sawing it, or even using a jackhammer. But the only way to unlock it is with the key. Unlock the Lockwood toolbox and win concert tickets, power tools, cash and more. To enter, go to unlockthetoolbox.com.au and register your worksite. The Triple M Street team could rock up with truckloads of prizes thanks to Lockwood. Unlock the Lockwood toolbox. Enter now at unlockthetoolbox.com.au. If you haven't locked up with Lockwood, have you really locked up?
It may be cold outside, but inside your Kia retailer, it's scorching. The Kia Grand Carnival run-out is now on. It's your last chance to pocket great savings on Australia's favourite 8-seat people mover at a red-hot $38,990 drive away. Or Sportage Adventure Wagons also running out from a searing $23,990 drive away. So what are you waiting for? Go get fired up at your Kia retailer today while stocks last. Sportage manual price quoted, metallic paint extra.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks football. This quarter is brought to you by Hard Yakka. For over 75 years, nothing's tougher.
23-point quarter-time lead for the Magpies. 6-1-37 to Richmond 2-2-14. Harden up with man beans, of course, as we get down to the dock, and not much for you to do down there in the first turn, Smooth.
Oh, well, that's what the clubs love, don't they, James? Well, I don't have much to do in terms of injuries, as you say, so no one that's been in trouble at all. And Mick Mulder's pretty happy, man. He came down with about 3 or 4 minutes to go and had a chat to the players on the bench. Of course, Damien Hardwick doing that, coaching from bench side. Both coaches really getting into the players at the present time, so let's see if the Tigers can lift a bit, James.
Well done, Doc, for Carlton Draft. Of course, the brewery fresh facts, carltondraft.com.au, the number one tap beer in Australia. The stats there, Two-Man.
Dane Swan leading the ball winner on the ground with 11 disposals, 8 to Borland for the Tigers, 8 to Edwards.
Gary and Spud.
Well, there's a fair gap between the two teams. There's no doubt about that. What would be disappointing for Tiger fans is that they didn't have the intensity nor the skill and the control of the footy early in the piece to remain in the contest. Now, I think early in the piece the play-ons were something like 9-3, 9-4 in favour of Collingwood. The thing that got them back in, and Spud pointed it out early as well, was that not only did they use the ball better, but they took the game on. And right now it's at 12-11 play-ons. Don't play conservative, Tigers. Get on your bike, flip it around like they did. Use your runners, Delidio and Connors out of the back half. Newman, get it in the hands of your best ball users. Have a bit more structure in your forward 50. I reckon Reebok got a bit far from home and he had too much traffic around him. And be brave and take the game on. This is a very good Collingwood side, Sputter.
Shane Edwards was terrific this end of that quarter. He was the one. He got 8 disposals, 5 contested possessions. But Dane Swan, Daniel Jackson, Trent Cotchin sitting in the grandstand due to suspension. The depth of Collingwood versus Richmond missing those 2 players. Swan's had 11 disposals, 7 contested possessions, 2 clearances and 1 goal.
Bounce of the footy to start the second term. Collingwood by 23 points.
And it was knocked out by Graham of Richmond. This is Jolly, had a little bit of a kick, but it didn't go far. Luke Ball got a hand pass and a call from Thomas, and it didn't do any well. This is Delidio. Hand pass, Nahas. Richmond forward, revolts.
Oh.
What a wonderful mark. He led into the space and got there when the ball got there. He couldn't be beaten on that lead.
Well, he led from the dangerous starting position, Rexy, and that's why I was frustrated early in the piece. I know they weren't getting a hold of it, but he was starting really high. At least he took Prestigiacomo deep and led up at the footy.
He is in white-hot form. He runs from 50 and puts it on its way, and it's gone to the right for a minor score. Richmond at 2-3-15, Collingwood 6-1-37. They kick a couple of those, they're right in it. At the moment they're 22 points down on the Triple M Hard Yakka scoreboard. Collingwood lead.
This is your spring heel Jack, Gaz.
Strong in the air, and he timed it beautifully. He's a deceptively tall kid.
Kick in, not great. O'Brien just made it work. Punches a long wobbler down the line. That's out in the full.
Make a blue, Harry. He's a lovely rebounder and looks great on the attack, but he can make a blue.
Around the grounds for the TAC, everyone hurts when you speed, Chua.
Geelong up by 41 points over Brisbane. 7-2-44, Brisbane 3 behind.
There is an evolving story, if it isn't a story already, as inside forward 50 here for the Tigers. The Magpies defence got to work really hard. It's about 15 out from the Tigers' goal, and Presti has the footy held to him. It'll be bounced.
Number one for contested marks inside 50, Jack Riewoldt, so give him a chance. Give him some room.
Deep into attack for Richmond, left forward pocket. Great Southern stands side at the city end. Graham knocked it out. It went out and Reed got it to Swan, who hand passed to Johnson.
No clear advantage.
No advantage, says umpire Jeffrey. I think it's going back to Reed. And Reed now on the left boot spins the ball outside 50. And Wellingham going back did very, very well. This is Brown of Collingwood.
Great hand.
Hand pass to Beams and hand pass a long, long floater over the top. In trouble there, Wellingham. The umpire said play on. Could have been a turnover, but Didak will do wonderful things usually and does it to Wellingham. Got it back to Beams. Along the boundary to McCaffer.
But there's a bloke out there who's taken a mark, McCaffer, 25. I tapped on the shoulder about 2 minutes ago and said, have a look at Daniel Connors play defence on Brett McCaffer. He's played him about 20 metres away. Primary concern, trying to get off his man so he can go and get a kick.
He's ball watching, and it is amazing to think that Damien Hardwick may be going to teach him a lesson, but all he does is spectate the ball. He's got no awareness when the ball is in the air where his direct opponent is. It's
the man on the mark, McGuan, is 25 metres out, and now McCaffer comes through 50. He's on a 45-degree angle, right half forward flank, skips, now follows through the ball beautifully. 3 goals, McCaffer. 7 goals to Collingwood. And Collingwood go to 7-1-43. Richmond at 2-3-15. Triple M hard yakka scoreboard. Richmond need to do a little bit of hard yakka.
Well, McCaffer's the number one ranked player on the ground, the Carlton draft stats. We know Swan's had a lot of the ball, but he's kicked 3 goals already. And Daniel Connors started his career as a half forward, a little bit on the wing. Just not quite sure what Damien Hardwick might be sending a message to. So you're getting plenty of the ball, but you've got to defend.
I tell you what McCaffer's doing, exactly what he did to Sam Gilbert last week. Gilbert, like Connors now, you watch him, look at Connors now. All he's concerned about is getting off his man and kicking a goal, getting the ball on the rebound. He's a defender. He's playing him 8 metres away.
28 points is the lead now for Collingwood. No one touches it out of the ruck, and a free kick's going Collingwood's way. So Jolly not watching the footy. Angus gives it off to Swan by hand. Now to Johnson on the wing, out of side. Great Southern stand side. A little bit of hand candy sold. Then a long ball. Dawes at the back. Didak at the front. Fist from the Richmond defence. Trouble now as they go to ground. Leon picks it up, but the ball's out.
Just not quite sure what the instruction from Justin Lepich. He's the defensive coach, triple premiership defender for Richmond.
Look at him.
It's just hip on hip. Finger in the back, at least touch and feel. You know where your direct opponent is. He's got a ski rope on him at the moment. I can't believe it.
Daisy Thomas out of the air. Kicks it straight to McGuan. Come on, Lepper. As little ball's okay to Morton. Back pocket on the punt road end. They slow down a little. Predictable kick, but it works. To Tuck, the man with weird ears. He's also in defensive 50. And he's got to go sideways and a little bit backwards as well, so they can't clear the area. The Tigers. McGuan again.
Good defensive work from the Collingwood forwards. They're very well organised, Jimmy. A lot of peeling off being done, but they cover for each other.
Just had to go with a high one, McGuan. Angus Graham, the fist in the end. Picked up by the man with 3, McCaffer, off to Wellingham, little smother. Swan again got his own footy. Handball to Jolly, to Beams, to Dids. He gets smashed by Deledio. Swan a little kick forward. But Richmond there in the end. And a free kick picked out downfield will go to Jeremy Webley.
So Webley is on the right half-back flank. He's got the football. It's unusual. He just puts his hands here and says, well, what
a switch. Not a lot of movement. McGuan across the other side was the play.
He brings it along the boundary line. It's a free kick to Reed, surely. Ben Reed was pushed out.
Yeah, against Jaden Post, Rexy, for Richmond.
So, against Wilbur. And a long ball down towards big Leroy Brown. He's going to make it hard for Fraser, and Brown shoots around and goes into the goal square towards Davis. The ball's now in contention for Swan to pick it up. Hand pass across 2v Davis, goal! The old 1-2 trick, and Collingwood are bounding away. They're 8-1-49. Richmond at 2-3-15. 2 goals to Davis, 3 to McCaffer. And that's on the Triple M Hard Yakka scoreboard.
Sparta, I'd get a doctor out to Daniel Connors. I think he's been concussed.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but he's coming off the ground now, Gary.
You just saw on the OPSM replay screen, the ball was coming into the 50. He was 15 metres and still running away from Brent McCaffrey.
Not only 15 metres away, he was protecting the boundary line. McCaffrey was in the corridor, so the space he was protecting.
I think he got a hit in the head. I think he got a hit in the head. That's all I want Dr. Smooth.
He's having a look down there, Doc.
Find out if there's something wrong with him, because, by God, he's loose.
Around the grounds for the TAC tour.
Geelong up by 47 points over Brisbane. Lions yet to kick a goal 8 minutes into the second quarter.
And at the MCG, it's 49, plays 15. Collingwood up. We're en route to a blowout here unless the Tigers can do something. Gold sack. Got it to Johnson. Johnson looking for McCaffrey, who's kicked 3. Daisy Thomas at the back, can't access the pill. Mitch Farmer gets bashed into. And it's going to be bounced.
I wonder whether or not Damien Hardwick is trying to teach them to guard and zone space rather than the man. That's my only explanation. It ain't working, and that's the first thing. But, gee, these young defenders need to be able to defend one-on-one, first of all.
It's Andrew Brown with an E, and he got it down to Jake the push-up king.
Lad.
He is. Deledio got belted. Jeremy Webley, a little one up to the push-up. And then Tuck comes through. Long ball, post, one-on-one. Focused on the footy, nicely did post. Got a handball back to Nason. Nason's got nothing to go to, so he goes back by hand. It gets chopped off by Tuvey. And now Didak takes the mark just inside the field to play on the wing. Little massager, got it to Goldsack. And he's on the wing. Little one to Jolly. Just got real control over this game at the moment, Collingwood. Jolly high inside 50. Dawes, the big body. He got hands to it, but a nice mark taken back there. I think it was David Asprey.
Asprey, young boy.
For Richmond.
So Asprey's at centre-half back at the punt road end. Richmond need to do something different. Over the top of the head of Lockyer, went to Webley. His hand pass to Polo is going to be fortuitous because Polo watched it bounce 10 times and picked it up and kicked it towards Revolt. Now this is Presti. Tapped it on lovely to Pendlebury. Revolt tackled him. Coming in there was the young man in Blair. Hand pass across. McCaffrey hand passed it further to Beams and got it now back to Blair. Got it further afield to Lockyer. Down towards Zeta. Jolly good mark on the edge of the square, and Jolly should go back and kick Collingwood's 9th goal.
It was well picked up, Gaz. I've got no doubt. I've been watching the Richmond defence. They're trying to guard space. But what they don't understand now in the game sense, that Collingwood are controlling the game, the whole game. Collingwood have time to identify where the Richmond defender is, and they just continually put the ball on top of the Richmond defender's head. So they have to restructure the way they're playing in the defence, there's no doubt.
So Jolly at the punt road end, 45-degree angle goal, procession. Collingwood 9 goals, 155. Richmond at 2-3-15. And that is on the Triple M Hard Yakka scoreboard. This game's over.
Seeing some extraordinary work done in the nearby boxes.
Amazing pair of glasses.
Spud, I would say if their defenders are trying to play zone defence, then they've got to stop it straight away. Because fundamentally they need to defend one-on-one, and then after you've had a year or two of experience of playing together and you can develop the trust in the process with each other, then you can start to guard space. That Daniel Connors situation was the most unbelievable defending I've seen in a long time. In fact, he just refused to go near Brent McCaffrey.
Uncontested possessions in the forward half of the ground, 51-16 Collingwood's way.
That's extraordinary.
9 goals to 2 for Collingwood. Martin out of the middle, pumps it inside 50, but it was an end-on-ender. And Goldsack was able to pick it up and go very wide. Lee Brown's got to hover under it. Good mark. Ripping mark to Big Leroy.
Hard Yakka tough that was. Yeah, Chris Newman bearing down on him. Terrific grab.
He's in some nice form, Lee Brown. Pendlebury going to get to the around the grounds in just a second, man, as Daisy Thomas has it. Centre of the MCG. The Collingwood Footy Club going towards the punt road end. Nest of players under this footy. Deledio, one of them. McCaffrey off to the wee man Blair. who from a standing start missed it behind. So 9-2-56, Richmond 2-3-15. That's on the hard yakka scoreboard for the TAC round the grounds.
Geelong by 46 points over Brisbane. The Cats 8-3-51. Lions 5 behinds halfway into the second quarter.
So Delidio's rocket went straight down the throat of Morton. He took a mark and hand passed to Jake King. King kicked it high and went for Daniel Connors. He's taken a mark and he's going to go to centre half forward, but he went over the top looking for Polo. Harry O'Brien will lead him if he gets it onto the ground. Nahas runs onto it. Harry O'Brien, magnificent, picks it up, runs around, takes a bounce, gets it to Reid. There's a free kick to the sack, I think, back at centre half back.
Against Polo.
So against Polo to Goldsack. And it's Collingwood by 41 points. Triple M hard yakka scoreboard.
And Sacks just go with a little one and gets it to Johnson.
I want Two-Man to give me that stat he gave me before, because I don't think, Jim, especially you, gave it enough credit.
I want to hear it again.
Uncontested possession, not in the back half, in your forward half.
Gary, it's currently 54-16 Collingwood's way.
54 uncontested in your forward half of the ground.
Well, there's your Carlton draft at its absolute best.
We'll get up and about it.
Thomas taking the ground.
Defence.
Jeez, don't
little
just bat
tiny
it
man.
away.
Well, I'm enjoying it, but I don't think we need to doubly celebrate it.
Well, I was going to pump it up. I was waiting for you, JB.
Cousins on the ground. Leave that for you boys in the back. Rex and I just tear it to shreds at the front of here. Able to pick it up there was Beams. Off to Thomas. Standing start kick, not his best. And it is Asprey able to come in and take a mark. Thought about the switch, does so now. Rance at the back has it. Cannot get any penetration by foot or hand, Richmond at the moment. Rance swings it wide. He swings it wide. The boys Polo out there. The bounce sort of works for him. Lee Brown, some good pressure. Through they come now. Handball over the top to Steele, side bottom. Further afield by hand to Tarkin Lockyer. He can waltz inside 50. Options everywhere. Leon was one of them.
Yes, sir.
Still there, Leon, if he wants to use him. McCaffer goes back to Didak, who takes it 45 out.
How far was Daniel Connors from Brett McCaffrey, please?
83 metres. I'll cut him 2 metres slack, Gaz. That's unbelievable. He just spectates the ball.
He's only played the 18 games, which exempts him later on.
No, it does. It doesn't exempt him.
Maybe an exception.
Putting the finger in the back and just playing old-fashioned hip-on-hip football.
Alan Didak for his first and the Maggies' 10th. Swings around, hits the drop punt beautifully. Goal Collingwood. It is raining goals. 5 in a row now for the Maggies. 10-2-62. Richmond 2-3-15. Triple M hard yakka scoreboard.
You'd wear it if Richmond were winning the uncontested possessions, but they're getting absolutely smashed. But this quarter already, the Carlton draft, contested possessions, Collingwood 20, Richmond only 9. The play-ons, Richmond 7, Richmond 2. So when Richmond do get the ball, they've just got to switch, play on, use the corridor. The game's probably done and dusted as far as 4 points go, but now they need to play boldly, take some risks, get the ball through the middle of the ground, and at least get Collingwood thinking, because at the moment they're going back off the mark slowly, kicking the ball in the air. Collingwood have just been outstanding.
But I'm going to harp on this Richmond defence situation. Not one Richmond defender was within arm's length of his opponent.
So King comes out of the centre of the ground and runs back to centre half back. He gives it across there to Rance, and Rance went into the centre. He was looking for and found Farmer. So Farmer now got the hand pass off and a long ball down by Morton to centre half forward looking for Revolt. Plants at the umpire. Maxwell. He punched it, got it to Thomas, got it now to Johnson, got it to Ball, back to Johnson. The 200 game man got it to Swan, and he kicked a mongrel finger breaker that went out of play left half forward. Members side, the punt road end. And Collingwood 10-2-62. Richmond 2 goals 3-15. And for the TAC, Geelong are just crashing them, Two-Man.
They are, Rex. They're up by 51 points over Brisbane. Lions yet to kick a goal halfway into the second quarter.
No goal, down by 51 points, the Lions. Webley, dispossessed, stepped on through, got it to Edwards, taken high and gets it free.
That's not high. He rolled his arms and then the hand ended up going high.
Little one to Delidio, centre of the ground. And then off to Connors, inside 50, Revolt. Not able to take that mark. Nahas with some nice work at ground level, trying to get the footy out of there, but here comes Goldsack. Handball sideways there to Didak. And he's got a little right foot one that he can massage to steal side bottom. So they're taking some at the moment, Collingwood. There's very little doubt about that.
Bruce,
Wee-man Blair dropped what he should have taken. Got the handball back. An entry inside 50 again. Not the best kick going forward. And able to be chopped out for Richmond by Farmer. In Wembley.
So Farmer got it to Polo. They're just hanging on, Richmond. The only time they get the ball, they just hang on. They've got no confidence to go forward and break the game up. And the ball went back to Morton.
You would think Richmond are playing a loose player in the back half, but it's not. If you're at the ground, they've actually got an opponent. It's just that they're playing 30 or 40 metres off their direct opponent.
This is King, hand pass to Asprey. Asprey went out looking for Cousins. A turnover was on. As for the SBC man beings, down to you, Doctor.
Yeah, Damien Hardwick coaching. Look, it's education for each of the players when they come off. Rex, he's got a whiteboard. He's watching the game live on his laptop, and he just goes through the whiteboards and movement patterns for the players. Just done it with young Rance, but staying pretty calm, Damien Hardwick.
Well, good on him. So the ball came out to Davis, and Davis got it across. This is side bottom. He tried to get it. Webley was in there, but side bottom again. Got it off to Thomas. Thomas's little kick went to Didak. Didak got it further on to Reed. On the left boot, the ball spins down to the skipper. This is Maxwell. He's at centre half forward. They're building the pies. He runs down and kicks a long, long ball down towards Big Jolly. And the ball's over the boundary line and out of bounds. Left forward pocket punt road in members' side. Collingwood 62. Killing Richmond 15. Hard yakka scoreboard, Triple M.
He had 3 players on there, Nick Maxwell. Had he just spread his vision a little bit.
Throw in Jolly and Graham. Leon picks it up and then gets wrapped up by Newman. Side bottom comes through. He gets taken in a nice hard tackle. And the ball's going to be bounced.
It is an education process for Richmond. There's no question about that. They will have to. They're on a steep curve, but they're getting pounded everywhere at the minute.
Jolly to a dangerous spot, and Edwards is able to smash it over the line.
Just on the education, we're not privy to Damien Hardwick because all year he's played one-on-one and taught them to play accountable defensive footy. Today he's obviously gone into a mindset to say, you know what, we'll try something different today and play a zoning defence.
Unusual, Spud. Very unusual.
Not going to get to the ruckman. Graham just spilt the ball as it landed in his lap. And I think a third or even a fourth stoppage, same spot, deep punt road end.
What are they trying to launch next door, Jim? There's like some sort of building of a spaceship going on in the next box.
Got some technical issues. Just worrying the punters in there. Ball on the ground and no one able to get it out. Eventually Pendlebury picks it up and kicks the simplest of goals. It's just going pear-shaped for the Tigers here. Collingwood have kicked 5 straight in this term and are out to a massive lead, 11-2-68. Richmond 2-3-15.
When you get a zone defence, whatever it is, what you do is you lose responsibility for an immediate opponent. That is the most ridiculously easy goal when there's 35 men around you that you're ever likely to see.
You're right, because Richmond, I'm not sure what their contested possessions have been all year, Astro. I think they've had a really good effort against their direct opponents. And they've been able to do that by playing one-on-one. Today they've forgotten what makes them a really good young and emerging team.
Look at this. Look at Rance is playing in the back pocket. He's 20 metres away from a man.
Look at Leon Davis in the goal square on his own.
Spud, they're ranked 8th in the competition against their opposition for contested possessions. Today they're down by 27.
So both Geelong and Collingwood have covered the line well before half-time. So it's knocked out by Brown with a knee of Richmond. Right over the top of the ball was Tuck. Clowns to the umpire. The hand pass went to Swan. It came from Beams and now off towards Harry O'Brien. Onto the centre wing. Pendlebury came through. This is O'Brien versus Martin. Some support from Pendlebury. He was swung off the ball. The hand pass went through from Connors. Now it's going to be picked up by Newman. Clowns to the umpire and it's going to go against him. And the free kick is going to go to Pendlebury. And he brought it back in towards the centre of the ground. This is Wellingham. He hand passed and got the call back from Pendlebury, who shot a rocket, but it was intercepted by Collins. Hand pass over to Edwards. Edwards got it on to Cousins. Cousins now forward of the centre half forward position. Hand pass off to Morton on 50. He's kicked a long, long point. point.
Oh, look at Jack.
Oh, a long point. The stare is there. Ron Barassi type stare. And Richmond go to 2-4-16. Collingwood 11-2-68. Triple M hard yakka scoreboard.
Wellingham brings it away. Low ball was partially smothered so they can reload here, the Tigers. Inside 50, Tuck with a little one to Nason, who gets nearly barreled by his own player. Nahas. And that's not a barrelling you'd enjoy. As Nason from 45 out.
I don't think you would.
Tucked against the line. Takes some recovering from Gary.
Some of you might.
Go to the city end. Little Nason. He would not want any of that. As Nason from 50 can take the set shot. It's low and looks nice enough, but no one home. Eventually it comes to Cousins from a spilt mark from Jolly, and Cousins kicks a much needed goal for Richmond. 3-4-22 Tigers, 11-2-68 Collingwood. Triple M hard yakka scoreboard.
Well, it was basically a mistake that Collingwood made that allowed Richmond into the game. You can see there in the OPSM replay screen, the ball goes long to the goal square. Darren Jolly, uncontested mark basically in the end. Not a lot of talk there from Nick Maxwell. Maxwell coming off the ground. Jolly be disappointed with that effort there, but Cousins was in the right spot at the right time.
Further to our talk about this zoning defence for the Tigers, uncontested marks in the forward half of the ground. Collingwood have taken 20, Richmond have taken 4. So 20 uncontested marks in the forward half, yet they persist right now. This Richmond defence, no shoulder-to-shoulder stuff. They're playing 10 metres off their men.
It is 22-68.
And getting back to McCaffer, you're just not sure how good he is because he's been on his own all day.
Brown gave it to Martin. Martin long in the Revolt direction. Big fly at the back from post. And it was picked up by Wellingham. We've got a question for you, Gary. I'm going to ask it in a second, Spud. As the kick out from Johnson was nice and got it to Ball. Ball to Didak, slicing through half-back. Right foot kick. Going to carry them all. Brown just couldn't get to it. Farmer came and picked it up. Gave a handball to Martin. Martin to Polo in the centre of the MCG. Sideways ball. Newman out of side.
Revolt in the hands of the trainers.
So Newman now got a call. Weberley.
He's okay, Revolt.
Weberley now kicked it out towards Nason. He had no chance against Reid, who's just a very good mark of the football, and he did that. And he got a call down to big Leroy Brown on the centre wing and took
look
a mark.
at the zoning defence.
Now side bottom, got it on to Davis. Davis marked it in front of Polo. The umpire's called play on. You can run onto him if you want to, and Swan comes out in front of Weberley.
It's Swiss cheese, seriously, that's what it is. Their defence. 20 disposals already to Dane Swan. Leg rope on him already. As I said, Daniel Jackson in the grandstand normally plays on him. He's averaging 36 disposals the last 6 weeks. He's going to have a 50 disposal game if he keeps going like this, Dane Swan.
Jeremy Weberley on the mark, 47 metres out. Swan is near enough onto the right boundary, and he's kicked it just to the left. Just to the right, I should say. And Collingwood 11-3-70, lead Richmond 3-4-22. Triple M hard yakka scoreboard for SBC Man Beans. I can hear you down there, Doc.
Yeah, Jack Riewoldt, he was down on the ground because he got a hit in the right eye, probably a finger, or the physios have spoken to him. He's still rubbing at the eye, but he's walking around, staying out there. He should be okay, Big Jack.
Delidio to bring it in and gets it to Tuck. My question, Gary and Spud, I'm trying to think of a nicer way to say it because this statement has negative connotations, but are Collingwood the best flat track bullies in football? The best disposers of ordinary sides?
Yeah, Melbourne wouldn't say so. In fact, I reckon they drop their guard on occasions against some of the sides that they're expected to beat.
But when they've got them, they just pound forward and just smash.
Yeah, during a game maybe, but not week to week, certainly, because they have had some ordinary performances against sides they've expected to thrash.
Oh, they're absolutely serving it up at the moment. Didak walks away, but a free kick is going to come back to Delidio. It's 69-22 here. Collingwood miles up, and Richmond really having to work hard just to hang on.
I agree to a certain degree, JB, because of the depth they've got. They've probably got 8 players that can come into this team, and I think that's what makes them hungry. Yep. And against, if you're a good team and your side's settled, mentally you can have a layoff, but there's 8 players out here playing for a grand final spot or a top 4 spot in their finals team, so that's why they're hungry, the Pies.
When they smell blood in a game, they just put the foot down. It's amazing to watch. Inside 50, Let's see what a Revolt can do here. Angus Graham at the back. That's made. Big Angus.
Big Ango. Well,
not happy.
They need a secondary target, Sputter. They need some competitiveness. Jim, I would say today, on your theory, that Richmond haven't helped themselves, if you know what I mean. Yep. Almost despite themselves, Collingwood is thrashing Richmond because they've been uncompetitive, uncontested footy, and their backline have just had a leg rope on every single forward.
It's a bit of a gift, this. I just said on the OP as Sam didn't quite take control of the mark at all, Angus Graham, but he's lining up.
For the Tigers fourth to make it 41 points down. Good kick. So a mark and goal to Graham, 4-4-28 Richmond, 11-3-69 Collingwood. Triple M hard yakka scoreboard, the other game for the TAC tour.
Geelong by 40 points over Brisbane. The Cats 10-4-64. Brisbane 3-6-24, 28 into the second quarter.
And again, Brent McCaffer in the forward half is a good example of that, Gary, because he's played extremely well. He's the number one ranked player on the ground, 12 disposals, 3 goals. Yet all these 3 goals, one was a contested mark, we'll give him that, but the other possessions, there's been no Richmond player within 10 to 15 metres of him now. He's had Daniel Connors, he's had Mitch Farmer, now Polo's going to him, and again Connors is standing 10 to 15 metres in front. I would love to be able to fly on the wall to get the process of their Richmond thinking on that.
You've seen a grand final umpire 3 times over trying to be a tech next door. That's amazing.
What they're doing, Rexy.
So it came out. They've got to plug it in.
We've got NASA on board now, Rex.
Thank you very much. The ball to half forward for Richmond. Running through, he got Polax Martin. The umpire said play on. It came out the ball. He spit it in well at Collingwood. Got it to Didak. This is Johnson. She's playing well. He's on the left hand and he got a hand pass back to Didak, who did well. And here comes McCaffer. McCaffer's giving him a good target. It's again Polo. Right in front of the dock. Polo giving away a free kick to McCaffer. And we've travelled 28 minutes into the second term.
Ben Cousins, Ben Johnson on Ben Cousins at the minute, Two-Man. What's that matchup like? Cousins quiet?
Cousins just the 9 disposals, Johnson with 11.
It's Collingwood by 41 points as Triple M rocks football thanks to McDonald's. A long ball down towards Big Doors. He can't get it. The hand pass by Newman. Went off to Morton. Hand pass further afield to Lidio under huge pressure. This is Swan. Got through the gap unbelievably to Jolly. He can't take it. Lockie Air came through. Daniel Connors hand passed it long and wide looking for McGuan, who cannot control it. But finally young Jeremy Werbley kicked it down towards Collins on the centre wing, very close to the boundary line, close as you like. The ball came back inboard. Got it now. This is Ben Cousins. Got a hand pass to Collins, but a turnover to Blair. Blair back to Ball, and the siren sounds. And Collingwood, like that whale with a seal, just the whale shark with that seal, just throwing it around at the moment. Collingwood 11-3-69, lead Richmond 4-4-28 by 41 points. But Collingwood, McCaffrey's got 3 and Davis 2. That's on the Triple M hard yakka scoreboard.
Check out the new vintage range. It's already worn in for you.
They scored a couple of late goals, 2 in a row, in fact, to Cousins and Graham, to save them from a total embarrassment in that first quarter. Jim, they got a bit of restocking to do. He's still playing with his side, Damien Hardwick, and that's fair enough, but geez, some defensive accountability wouldn't go straight.
Yeah. 41 points Collingwood, the other game, TAC tour.
Half-time, Geelong by 34 points, 10-4-64 to Brisbane, 4-6-30.
So we're going to go to a break. On the other side of it, you'll hear from Rex and Gaz and Spud, Chua and Doc. Thanks to McDonald's, Triple M rocks football.
This quarter was brought to you by Hard Yakka. For over 75 years, nothing's tougher.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks football.
It's been a big week on Triple M's Hot Breakfast. The Gold Coast are set to enter the competition and they've got a team song.
We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky. We are one in the red, gold and blue.
We asked the coach what he thought about it.
It's not a song like Collingwood, of course, Ed, that's been around for 150 odd years, so give us 150 years and I reckon it'll be rolling off everyone's tongue.
The biggest names in football are on Triple M's Hot Breakfast. We're back Monday morning from 6.
For National Builders Group. More home, more value, more care. Barry Bowen saves a bundle by moving with Budget.
Hello, Budget. Barry's on the move again, and as you know, Barry loves a bit of DIY. I'll need blankets, boxes, packing tape, and of course, a moving truck.
No worries, Mr. Bowen, and a great budget deal too.
too?
You betcha.
Well, at the moment, you can rent a moving van and keep it the whole weekend for the one low price.
Brilliant.
And all you need is a regular car licence.
Better still. Thanks, Budget.
Visit budgettrucks.com.au or call 13 27 27 to find your nearest location.
I'm Norm Robinson, and over the next few weeks, you're going to see some commercials from the people who have been hurt as a result of my son's death. Luke was speeding when he crashed his car. My family and friends agreed to participate in a road safety campaign because we desperately want the community to be aware that this can happen to anyone. Speeding is the biggest killer on our roads. Slow down, or you and your family could be next.
Everybody hurts when you speed.
Fact. Steel prices are rising. So if you're after a fair income shed, a real shed with real value, order now and beat the price rise. That's right. Get in quick to beat the price rise on industrial sheds, garages, barns and farm sheds. Order the shed you've always wanted now and beat the price rise. Get a fair income quote on 1800 10 11 12. That's 1800 10 11 12. Fair income sheds, real value.
It may be cold outside, but inside your Kia retailer, it's scorching. Rio dealer demos are clearing out now with huge savings on Australia's top value 5-door that'll really light you up. Get this. Power front windows, dual airbags, MP3 compatible audio, and a sizzling $12,990 drive away. So what are you waiting for? Go get fired up at your Kia retailer today while stocks last. Manual price quoted. Metallic paid extra.
Radar Radio is breaking all new music all the time. Now on digital radio, here's what's new to the playlist this week. Birds of Tokyo. Plans.
We made plans to kiss the sun and
Kanye West. Power.
I'm tripping off the power.
And awesome new unsigned music. Apollonia. In My Heart. For the iRiver B30. I do what I like. Visit radarradio.com.au or check it out on digital radio. Radar Radio. Get on it.
Get ready for something big. Hairspray, the smash hit musical and winner of 30 major theatre awards worldwide, will be live on stage at the Princess Theatre from this October. Be swept away to 1960s Baltimore with this ultimate feel-good show, piled high as a beehive with laughter, romance and terrific songs. Tickets are now on sale. Call Ticketek or visit hairspraythemusical.com.au.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks football. This halftime break is brought to you by Fair Income Sheds. Real sheds, real value.
At the MCG, watching a clash between two of the great traditional teams of the AFL. Collingwood taking on Richmond, and it's all one-way traffic. Half-time, 11-3-69. The Magpies, the Tigers, 4-28. Two late goals, courtesy of Ben Cousins and Angus Graham, perhaps saving them from even further embarrassment. We're here, of course, for McDonald's. We celebrate the release of DreamWorks' Shrek Forever. After, I did it last week, Shrek's Forever After, Spud, at McDonald's with a delicious new Shrek menu, including the delicious $1.95 far away chicken snack wrap with creamy pesto mayo. Hurry, it's only there for a limited time. Ooh, really interesting game of footy, and there is no question that Damien Hardwick is continuing to introduce new styles of game to this young Richmond Footy Club. I've got to admit, I'm scratching my head a bit about the rationale of his back six not playing one-on-one footy, Spud.
I've got no doubting that, Gaz. You look at the players, Connors, we've been red hot on it, but it's even Luke McGuire. You got Jolly standing down there, resting Ruckman at forward line. He's standing 20 metres in front. Now, Collingwood are controlling the game. They've been outstanding. Calm draft stats, you can go through them, and they're winning all areas. But I think Damien Hardwick, and we'll have to make sure we listen to his presser at the end of the game, because he's been terrific all year teaching his young players to play honest football. What I mean by that is just playing one-on-one, attack when we've got it. When the ball's in dispute, make sure you know where your man is. But today, you look at their back half, every time you look up even to centre bounce, they're playing either 10 metres in front or to the side. And the Collingwood forwards, and as I said, McCaffrey's probably just about the best player on the ground. But he'd be saying, I haven't got a bruise. I haven't really had to compete that hard for it, but that's all due credit to him. They're reading the play well. look, there's a huge chasm in the fact of the class discrepancies. Edwards has been terrific for Richmond. I think he's been the one player that's got in and under.
8 contested possessions out of 14 is a great effort.
Yeah, look, they're obviously missing Trent Cotchin and Daniel Jackson, who would be on Dane Swan. Have a look at Swan's possessions again. 21 disposals, 11 contested. He probably hasn't used the ball as well today as he has the last all year, really. He's going at 50% by foot, so that's an area of the game he needs to work on. Didak's been terrific. Jake King, as we built up before the game, look, he's playing on Didak. I think he's one of the better players in the ground too, because he's using the ball really well. But Mick Malthouse, he'll be just saying to his team, there's a live kill on here, fellas. There's a top spot on the ladder. Percentage is all important. Although, have they had a draw, Collingwood?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, well, maybe, it doesn't come into play, but it's all about four-quarter performances, them, and that underbelly of Dawes. Leon Davis looks like he's getting into some form also.
That zone stuff can work okay if you've got magnificent pressure around the footy in the middle of the ground and you can cause turnovers, because then you're in a great position to counter-attack, but they ain't doing it at the moment.
It can also work well if, when you've got the ball, you use the ball well.
Yep.
When Richmond have turned it over in the midfield, because they're zoning up, they look around and it's too late to guard your man. Yep. You're guarding some really dangerous space behind you. It's too hard to get back because Collingwood are just slicing through that zone.
Don't forget they're playing on a side that have got the most magnificent spread of goal kickers, second in the competition. Let's get some Carlton Draft stats from the wee little Two-Man, who's going to go through his leading team's initiation after the game. But right now, Two-Man, who are the stats leaders?
Well, for the Magpies, as Spud said, 21 to Swan, 15 to Didak. McCaffer, 13 disposals, 5 marks and 3 goals straight for the Tigers. 14 to Edwards, 12 to Morton and Tuck. Rewald, 5 possessions, 4 marks and 1 goal, 1. And for the Herald Sun Supercoach ranking points, Gary, 117 to McCaffer and 107 to Swan. And for the TAB Sportsbet, Collingwood at minus 16.5 at the line are paying $1.85 each of 2.
All right, that's some very nice work there. The Carlton Draft stats there from the wee little Two-Man. We're going to go round the grounds, chew up for the TAC. Everybody hurts when you speed.
Thanks, Gary. It's Geelong by 34 points over Brisbane. Geelong 10-4-64 to Brisbane 4-6-30. Just the major goal kickers, Gary, for the Cats, 2 goals each to Ablett and Varco. For the Brisbane Lions, 2 goals to Jonathan Brown, and the leading ball winners on the ground, 21 to Selwood, 16 to Chapman, and for the Lions, 19 to Power.
Gary Ablett, how's his afternoon been like, please?
He's racked up 13 possessions and kicked a couple of majors. Brendan Favola for Carlton Draft, just the 1 handball and scoreless.
We're watching that. Scarlett is just having a feel. What Scarlett had?
Matthew Scarlett for Carlton Draft, Spud. He has racked up 14 disposals.
Dead set. They might have drafted the wrong Favola, Brisbane. I'm telling you. Those Carlton Draft stats, man, they were magnificent. Carlton Draft, of course, proud supporter of footy since 1877, so let's not forget that, big nose. The OPSM replay screens chucked up plenty of interesting observations this afternoon, Spud Regal. For me, question mark comes about over a couple of youngsters here. Jack Riewoldt had his work cut out. Alex Rance getting another opportunity in the back half. He's got to start to show a bit. I reckon Polo's got to start to show a bit. We already know that Martin's going to be a star, but they just got to start to be a bit more composed around the footy.
There's no doubt that Jack Riewoldt's had 5 disposals. He's going at 20%. So 4 of his kicks have gone straight to the opposition. 1 was a behind, of course. So his ball use needs to lift. But it's all Collingwood. Look, you could go through 7 or 8 players for the Pies being the best players.
Yeah, well, speaking of the best players, Triple M's Bonaire best on ground award leaderboard after round 16. I think Luke Hodge might have got the 3. I think he might have got the 3 last night. He's on 20 at the moment. Is that before or after the 3 from last night, Big Nose? I think that's before. So he's out to 23. But listen, Dane Swan is in second position on 19 votes right now. I think he's in front for best on ground on us. So this is going to be an absolute thriller. Sandlin's Goddard, Judd and Chapman also in the mix. We're going to take a little break right now. Is that what we're doing, Big Nose? Stop looking at me. It's a half-time break, of course, for Fairtingham Shed, Spud Regis. And Peter Mercado, who I put on just a little bit of test last week to see if he's listening, because I didn't even intro him. I will this week, because he's here with another M-Sport update for iSelect. Get a policy to suit you. Without the runaround, call 13 19 88 or Visit iselect.com.au. Pete.
Thank you, Gary. Great to be here as well. Let's look ahead to tonight, and the Bombers take on the Roos at Etihad. Plenty of pressure on Essendon coach Matty Knights and his team. Roos coach Brad Scott knows his side will have to be at the top of their game.
You come to the conclusion that every game brings with it a certain level of pressure, and this one's a really important one for us. And we can really give ourselves a chance at competing in September if we win it. So it's a really important game for us, and no doubt Essendon are feeling a bit of pressure as well.
The other game, West Coast and Carlton. Pakistan is 40 runs away from scoring its first Test win over Australia in 15 years when day 4 of the second Test resumes tonight. Skipper Steve Smith trying to keep positive.
Obviously got to believe in ourselves, and if we come out in the morning, you never know, run through a few wickets, and the ball seemed to be tailing a little bit at the end, Doug was saying, so hopefully we can get a few early wickets and put a bit of pressure on.
Best of luck with that. Plenty of motorsport on this weekend. Fernando Alonso quickest in practice for the German F1 GP. Mark Webber coming in 4th. Casey Stoner quickest in practice for the US MotoGP, while fellow Aussie Will Power quickest in practice for the IndyCar round in Canada. And the second last stage of the Tour de France tonight is a time trial with Alberto Contador in the leader's yellow jersey.
Vic Roads advises that off-peak road safety works are taking place till November on the Eastern Freeway between Hoddle Street and Springvale Road. Info at Vic Roads website.
The Triple M footy game car staying grey for the second half. Right now the G, it's 12 thanks to iSelect. When it's time for your car insurance renewal, why wouldn't you check iSelect? Call 13 19 88 or visit iselect.com.au. At the half, it's Pies by 41, 11 3, 69 to the Tigers 4 4 28. Back with more from Gary and Spud. Keep your text coming through 1999 1051, and our podcast. It was a magnificent rub today. The boys eyeballed each other and said what they thought. Have a listen to it. triplem.com.au. Thanks to McDonald's. Triple M rocks football.
This halftime break is brought to you by Fair Income Sheds. Real sheds, real value.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks football.
G'day, it's Mark McVeigh here from the Essendon Football Club.
G'day, it's Will Minson from the Western Bulldogs.
G'day, Nick Rewalt from the Mighty Saints here. Make sure you tune into Triple M Footy.
Tonight from 6, Triple M rocks football with North Melbourne and Essendon. Tomorrow from noon, it's Melbourne and the Sydney Swans.
Keep listening to Triple M Footy.
For McDonald's, Triple M.
Triple M, Triple M.
Rocks football.
Today's living is all about luxury, style, and comfort. And no one knows better than National Builders Group. When you build your dream home with National Builders, you get ultra premium inclusions at no extra charge. And this month you also get carpets and tiles, air conditioning, and home cinema pack, all without the price tag. To know more about this great offer, visit nationalbuilders.com.au. National Builders, look down to me.
Once upon a time, not so far, far away, sat an ogre in traffic contemplating his day. Feeling peckish, he desired a snack. A McDonald's appeared. He pulled in for a wrap.
Celebrate DreamWorks Shrek Forever After at McDonald's with a new $1.95 Far, Far Away chicken snack wrap. Tender chicken with pesto mayo in a soft tortilla wrap. Available after 10:30 a.m. at participating restaurants. It won't be around for long, so hurry into McDonald's and please the ogre in you.
How do you unlock the Lockwood toolbox? You could try drilling it, sawing it, or even using a jackhammer. But the only way to unlock it is with the key. Unlock the Lockwood toolbox and win concert tickets, power tools, cash and more. To enter, go to unlockthetoolbox.com.au and register your worksite. The Triple M Street team could rock up with truckloads of prizes thanks to Lockwood. Unlock the Lockwood toolbox. Enter now at unlockthetoolbox.com.au. If you haven't locked up with Lockwood, have you really locked up?
Harvey Norman's Everything iPod Sale. If it works with iPod, it's price to go. All iPod accessories up to 30% off. Logitech speaker docks from $29. 2-for-1 Sony iPod clock radio deal. Get both for $127. Sensational. iPod Nano deal. Your choice of colour. Only $158 for the 8GB model. iPod Touch with 8GB memory. $229 with a bonus USB charger valued at $29.95. Plus up to 30% off headphones, cases, chargers, FM transmitters, screen protectors and iPod docks. Everything iPod sale ends this weekend at Harvey Norman.
Sign up early for the 2010 St George Melbourne Marathon Festival and you could win one of 10 running packs crammed with great gear from St George Bank, ASICS, the Coffee Club, Runners World Magazine and Powerade. Enter now on the win page at triplem.com.au. Early bird entries close July 31.
It's Christmas in July at Rob Cousins Outdoor Furniture today and tomorrow. Prices have dropped dramatically, just like the temperature. Winter really is the best time to buy outdoor furniture. Every single piece of outdoor furniture is reduced to clear today and tomorrow only. Hurry into Rob Cousins Outdoor Furniture for Christmas in July and save on absolutely all outdoor furniture in stock. All pieces are individually priced to clear. Rob Cousins Outdoor Furniture, Maroondah Highway in Ringwood next to KFC. Go to robcousins.com.au.
The single biggest cause of home fires is distraction in the kitchen. Remember, kitchen fires start when your attention stops. And please make sure you have a working smoke alarm. Visit homefiresafety.com.au to better protect your family this winter. A message from Victoria's Fire Services.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks football.
This quarter is brought to you by Harvey Norman, the 3D TV destination. Come in for a 3D TV experience.
Half time at the MCG, Collingwood 11-3-69, Richmond 4-4-28, and they kicked the last 2 goals of the half, so it was looking a lot worse than that about 5 minutes out from the half-time siren. As we just get ready, the Magpies are out there, the Tigers aren't far away from a restart.
Just looked on the OPSM replay screen. Keep your eyes on the ball this season with OPSM, the official eye care partner in the AFL. There's a big tree out there on the MCG. What's that all about?
I don't know. National Tree Day. It's August something or other. I'm going to find out, Gary.
1st of August 2010.
Yeah, National Tree Day.
What's that about?
Well, I think it's all about green living, Gary, and
plant a tree.
Trees. Exactly right.
You going to plant one in your forest, which is your garden, that you put 15 litres of water on every minute?
I wouldn't have thought so, Gary. It's well
hydrated,
well furnished with trees, but certainly down, the peninsula, I might drop a couple, Gary. If I need to.
Work between 3 or 4 residents, as Jim does, Rexy.
I spent half the national debt putting in underwater tanks, and it hasn't stopped raining since.
No,
it's
exactly,
full as a
Rexy.
gool.
I found that as well.
James has got a tank. It's about 3 litres big, and his lawn grows bigger than his house.
Now, Dr. Smooth is down on the boundary, of course, for SPC Man Beans. Harden up with SPC Man Beans, Doc.
Yes, James. Well, it's a fairly big crowd here today. I was just hoping the Tigers fans were going to be a bit more vocal. A couple of goals at the end, as you said, just got them involved. But it's been pretty quiet. No injuries that I've had to yak on about at all, James. Just a little poke in the eye for Big Jack Rewalt. They sorted that out. And Daniel Connors, don't think there's any concussion going on there, Spud. I think you asked me. Came up and had his ankle restrapped, so that was the only thing. I don't think his brains are in his ankles. So, fortunately, no concerns. And as I said, the crowd, a little bit quiet, but obviously the Collingwood fans around me pretty happy, James.
Well done, Smooth. Thank you very much for that. As we just take a quick look out onto the MCG. And you got to hope, Gary and Spud, for this big crowd that we're going to get something better served up in the second half.
Well, I hope so. I wonder what they're going to do about Dane Swan, Spud. Now, surely it's not at the stage AFL footy now where you just throw your hands in the air and say, well, we can't stop this bloke anymore. He's got 21 possessions already. He's probably going to end up with 45, so we'll let him go and see if we can hit him the other way. I don't mind if you go into a game with that attitude and say, right, we know he's a great player, let's go head-to-head. But it would appear to me that they have not tried once to put any sort of defensive pressure or even hurt him back the other way, because, you know, the guys that are in the middle of the ground, whether it's Cousins or Edwards and those sorts of blokes, they haven't got real dangerous going forward at all.
No, they haven't. And I wouldn't be against even Chrissy Newman or Deledio. I know they've been playing, and Swan's starting on the bench, so it'll be tough for Richmond to tag if they think that now, because they'll have to take someone off the ground. So Mick Malthouse is going to give some other midfielder opportunity. But I wouldn't be against Deledio or Newman to go on to Dane Swan and hurt him the other way, because they are the 2 best kicks in the Richmond team.
Just saw on the OPSM replay screen a really tight Richmond huddle with Chris Newman imploring his team to have a crack and obviously get back into it. And again, it was Jack Rewalt who was off, looking up at the scoreboard and not really looking at Newman. Now, it's a small thing, but they're the sorts of things that he's going to have to get out of his game. He's turned his whole career around, but they never leave you totally.
You're absolutely 100% correct weight, Gary, with Jack, and his body language in the first half, it hasn't been great. He's been disappointed at times when the ball hasn't gone his way. Well, he needs to use the ball because he's turned 4 of his 5 kicks over.
Continuing with this triangle zone in the back half. You've got a little triangle up the top near centre half back of Deledio and Newman, and then another triangle down the back half. Doesn't work for me.
All right, we're ready to get the second half started. Thanks to McDonald's, Triple M rocks football. Collingwood by 41 points. Here's Big Rexonal.
And out of the centre,
Collingwood's Jolly got it to Wellingham and off the side of the boot, marked by Thomas. Here comes Lockie, Aaron Brown. They two nearly collided. Brown now for Collingwood, can't get it. Newman does, fell on top of it. Got to hoik it out. The umpire said he's looking, and he's going to actually put the ball down right half forward for Collingwood City end.
You know that zone defence is set up for? It's set up for rebound. It's not set up for defending, Spud. So if they win the footy, they're in good position to rebound. I don't reckon it's set up for hard defence.
Knocked out by Jolly. Went to Pendlebury, on to Thomas. Got it back to the sack. Gold sack tackled. And the umpire, I think, will put it down again. Centre half forward for Collingwood. Around the grounds for the TAC, at least Brisbane are having a go, two-man.
Well, they've cut the margin back to 34 points. It's 64 to 30 in favour of Geelong, early stages, third term.
Thanks, Ash. The ball in the hands now of Ball. He did it beautifully, and Ball! Oh, it's gone! Just a bee's diaphragm to the right of the big stick. It was beautiful play by Ball. And Collingwood 11-4-70 lead Richmond by 42 points. Tigers 4-4-28. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Brett Delidio to bring it in. Long ball towards the members' side. In from the side, Reid couldn't touch the footy. Foot race now involving Wellingham and also Post. Thomas was nice and clean. Handball backwards into space for Ball. On the wing, he goes back further by hand. And here's Goldsack with just an ordinary pill going forward. And Morton's able to take an easy marker post to Thomas. Mitch Morton in and out of this Richmond side.
Slow. They've got to look in and use the other end of the... switch the ball.
Handball to Polo. He goes down in search of Graham. Post did well. Got the handball to Graham. The push-up King went to ground, but then hooked it around his body. No push on Revolt there by Presty. Presty's got to pick the footy up, though. He's got a couple of beat, did well, and got it off to Pendlebury.
Pendlebury waited. This is Harry O'Brien. He ran and kicked a long ball to Leroy Brown. Brown just taking the space as the ball arrived. Beautiful precision play and a 50-metre penalty.
Connor's the man that went over the mark.
Well, he was playing 10 metres in front of Brown, and all he does is seriously watch the ball. He doesn't come back and try and body spoil.
But he's 10 metres in front of Brown. He's actually on McCaffer, so work that out for us. It's amazing.
So the first 50-metre penalty today on Triple M football, and big bad Leroy Brown making it so difficult for Josh Fraser to get back in. He's rucking well, giving them a big option up forward. He lines it up, Brown, for his second, and he drills it. He says, I'm going to play with this side for as long as I can. Collingwood got a dozen. They're 12-4-76 and Richmond are 4-4-28. Triple M football, Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Call me old-fashioned, call me antiquated, but when a forward kicks a goal, you got McCaffer kick 3, Brown kick 2. You go back and you have a look. Look at Lee Brown. No one's gone near him. So as a defender, you at least say, well, look, you've got that one. I'm going to make you earn the next. He's just walked back after kicking that goal, taking an uncontested mark. And now he's got 30 metres just to sit back and say, well, gee, if we win the ball out of the middle and the ball goes to Daisy Thomas, I'm just going to take an easy mark over the top of Luke McGuane here.
Didak, a man that you want to put time into, Spud, is standing on the forward 50 with no one near him.
76-28. Collingwood out by a mile. At the MCG, no one's able to get this out of the centre. We might take a score from Skilled Stadium for the TAC tour.
Geelong 10-5-65 to Brisbane 4-6-30, 35 points the margin, early stages, third quarter.
Here it is 76-28. Collingwood out. And again, Wellingham not able to get the footy away, but he'll get a free. Slung to the ground after he disposed of the ball. Sharad Wellingham. Told the rush hour he's called that because his dad's name's Jared and his mum's name's Sharon. And he goes inside 50 with a low one. Tarkin Lockyer at the back. At the front, here comes Didak. Oh, he had some Jolly on. Didn't give it to him. Got it back though, Didak, and around the body. Kicks the goal anyway. It is raining goals to the city end. Didak's got 2. 13-4-82. Collingwood 4-4-28. Richmond Triple M. Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Well, again, you see in the APSM replay screen, we looked at the last centre bounce, and Gary mentioned Didak is on his own. He's 30 metres on his own. Now, ball went in and went to the wing and went out the other side, Didak still had no one on him. So again, he's kicked the goal. And you look at Alan Didak now, Gary, where is he?
He's at centre-half forward spot and no one's gone near him. Now, Alan Didak is showing great maturity this year, but you've got to ask the question of him. He's sitting at full forward, centre-half forward in the 50, not a player near him. Newman's 20 metres behind him. He's going, how long's this been going on? No physical pressure on me at all.
A 54-point demolition, and here they come again. Collingwood, Jolly got it out. Tuck was feigning for a free kick, not much good. It went out now, Tuvey to the right half forward flank, inside 50 for Collingwood members' side. But Rand's got a hand pass across to Delidio. Back to McGuan, right on his hammer target, Lockyer. Hand pass back to Rand's. Hand pass to Delidio's little kick came out, and the mark taken over there by Asprey. Asprey turned around and got a call, and now Collins took the mark and hand passed inboard. He got it off to his team player over there in Martin. Now it's a long kick down onto the centre wing, and here's Jake King.
Push up.
And he did a very, very good job and took a mark.
Looks up, does Jake. Got a long option here in Revolt. Can he come in from the side? The kick doesn't get to him. And a simple mark taken by Reid in defence to Thomas. Thomas to Lockyer. Will get tackled as he handled the ball. Newman tried to slide a handball through, but it was broken up. Here comes Big Bad Leroy. He gets pummeled. Newman couldn't pick up the footy. Martin could. Tuck, handball to Cousins. Steps through a couple, back to Tuck. Just a standing start, Nurry. And Steele side bottom can come in. He got belted by his own man O'Brien at centre half back. And I reckon the ball's going to be bounced.
Well, that passage of play there, you had two Collingwood boys going for the contested ball. Why? Because Richmond are playing a zoning. They've forgot to compete, Richmond. They're just worried about guarding space and using the ball well.
And getting stats. The ball in the hands of Collins.
Harry O'Brien, your kick.
Harry O'Brien's got a kick. It was held by Graham. So it's centre half back at the Pund Road end. He waits for Reid and then just pops it over to the top of Pendlebury and got to Reid, who took a chest mark and hand pass to Benny Johnson. He came back to Luke Ball and little chip kick went to Pendlebury. They're just waxing lyrical. Here's a follow-up by Johnson. Johnson now ran onto the centre wing, took a bounce and ran nearly a long way towards the half-forward line. Dawes over the top of the footballers. Farmer, but free kick to Dawes. No.
David Asprey, your kick.
Free kick to David Asprey. You heard the umpire say it on Triple M football.
Now the young boy Jaden Post, you cannot be outmarked in your forward line like he was last time Richmond went inside forward 50. You've got to compete like your life depends upon it, so you at least get a crumb and give the other smaller players an opportunity.
Back to McGuan, dangerous kick to Rance. Didak closed him down. Rance picked it up.
Yeah, good work.
And gave it off to Newman.
Take the game on. They've got to play on.
Newman then to Cousins. They sort of handball it through half-back. McGuan, Nason, back to McGuan, back to Cousins.
Good running.
Cousins, a long ball here, Revolt. Out in front of Big Presti. Ball bounces between them both.
Presti fell over.
Presti fell over. Revolt picked it up and went down the line with a nice ball. And the mark was taken by Collins.
It all started because they played on from deep in defence and took the game on. You had Jolly down there resting. Dawes not super quick. So they took the game on, flicked it around. It was dangerous. Cousins was pivotal to the whole thing. They had your hearts in your mouth, but all of a sudden you get a shot at goal as a result.
Started with Murray Rance's
it
ball.
did. Young Rancey. Alex Rance was terrific. He took the game on.
All right, Andrew Collins for his second set shot, punt road end. Deliberate and misses. 82 Collingwood, 29 Richmond on the Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard.
So it's a sack who kicked it out and got it to Ben Johnson, left half back flank on the southern stand side. Hang on, there's a whistle somewhere.
Against Luke Ball. It was against Luke Ball in the middle of the ground, Rexy. So it comes back, Richmond's footy, half forward flank.
This is Collins. So Andrew Collins a long way out. The man on the mark, Ben Johnson's 44 metres out, and he's right on the boundary line, Collins, and he's going to line it up. So he comes in deliberately, looks at the goals, looks at the ball, now looks at the spot in front of where he's going to unload it, and it was just Scheisenhausen who went off the side of his boot over the boundary line and out of bounds, and the Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard doesn't change. Collingwood 13-4-82, Richmond at 4-5-29.
There's nothing wrong with him just putting the ball at the top of the square. Low percentage kick for a start, trying to have a shot from goal from there.
Swan long to the outer side. And almost Asbury taking a very good mark. And the ball's out now as we going to get a throw in. We'll also get a score from Skilled, courtesy of the TAC.
Cats by 48 points over Brisbane. Geelong 12-6-78. Brisbane 4-6-30. 10 into the third.
Throw in, a kick and a half from Richmond's punt road end goal. Lee Brown worked it down. Beams picks it up just inside the field of play. Handball to side bottom. Handball to Maxwell. Drew the body contact and then gave it to Johnson. Lee Brown's taken in a tackle. Martin picks it up. He gets smashed in a tackle. No one able to get clean pill out here. Eventually Johnson around the body. Just punches it down the line and Swan takes a very good mark. Gave it off to Leon Davis. 2 bounces. 3 bounces. Leon will want to come in board, but I think a free kick's coming up. And a fitty. Not sure. No.
We'll see if the umpire says anything here.
Is it going back to Swan or is it...
Swan's ball! Still got end zone, Brady.
Swan's ball, yep.
Okay.
Must have been after he disposed of it, Jim Boy. Or maybe grabbed after he took that mark. He's getting ink done on his other arm.
Davis got it.
Gave it off to Leon from downtown. Leon launches. Long. Hits the post. 4-5-29 Richmond. 13-5-83 Collingwood. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard.
I think he's going to have a double sleeve, Kim.
Oh, he can't do that.
I think he's having a double sleeve.
A tad shirt.
What's he up to now? He's up to possession number 23.
So Delidio of Richmond kicked it outside 50. Looking for Brown with a knee, and Jolly went in forward. Couldn't take the mark. This is Didak who tackled Cousins. Cousins got a hand pass on. Running over the top of the ball is Polo and gave it across to Nahas, who was just assassinated by Jared Blair. Turnover, Johnson. Lockyer took a mark.
There you go.
That was just wonderful by Blair, and that's just the stamp of Collingwood. A great team effort.
The tackle was magnificent, Rex. He didn't see it coming, Nahas. And Blair, who's playing for his life, it's got to be said, and maybe a position in September, absolutely smashed him correctly. Turnover, shot at goal here.
A lot of people thought he was gone, Lockyer. He's lining up for his 150th career goal from 49 metres, and he has not completed that task. Collingwood go to 13-6-84. Richmond a 4-5-29. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard at the MCG today.
Brought in ball. Ended up with Connors. Tuck. Needless handball to Polo. Ended up with Wellingham. They're going to go back in again here. Collingwood. Leon at the back. Leon! An extension from the little man. Was unable to take the mark. Tuvey got belted in a tackle. Cousins couldn't possess it. Pendlebury steps around a couple. Handball back to Blair. Eventually to Swan. And Swan goes wide to Dawes, who takes it inside the field of play, right forward pocket.
He's slow getting back, get back quicker, off the mark, have a look around. He just started to walk back, Chris Dawes. He's 50, he's going to have to kick from just outside 50, so from the boundary, low possession play. Need to push back hard.
He's a big unit, this boy.
Massive. Got some heavy bandaging. I don't know what the Dr. Smooth's got to say about that.
Just a big, big man. Brighton grammarian. They go back and have a crack at the City end goal. Miles in front here, Collingwood, 84-29. Chris Dawes, the kick looked shallow the whole way off the boot, and they're behind the result. 13-7-85, Collingwood. 4-5-29, Richmond. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Big concern again for Damien Hardwick. Contested possessions, they're just getting smacked. 92 to Collingwood, 64 to Richmond on the Carlton draft.
So the ball comes out to Morton at centre half back, and now he's going to go short and get Delidio. Left half back flank member's side, turned to the right but came back and gave it a Tuck. Tuck's little chip kick was no good for post. Plant said the umpire. Now this is young Beams. He kicked it to centre half forward to Dawes. Dawes gave it to Pendlebury. Pendlebury gave it to Didak. Didak gave it back to Ben Johnson. Here comes a lead, Leroy Brown. Brown goes, no, it's Jolly. Jolly, his arms were chopped.
Yeah, free kick, no doubt.
And he's going to line it up 40 metres out, directly in front for the TAC. And Geelong just killing Brisbane, two-man.
Well, sorry, go on to.
Geelong by 54 points over Brisbane halfway into the third quarter.
OPSM replay screen. That was the infamous zone defence just breaking down horribly. Morton was in front. You had another one behind, but someone forgot to go and pick up Jolly, who was right in the middle.
So Jolly will kick from 51 metres, and it goes on and on and on for a goal. Destroyation here today. 2 goals to Jolly. And Collingwood just marching to another win. They go to 14-7-91. Richmond at 4-5-29. Triple M football. Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Sure, give me the uncontested possessions in the forward half again. That unbelievable situation that we had earlier in the game while Spud shares some thoughts.
Well, it's all about spreading the workload again. And you said Collingwood are ranked second for the amount of average goal kickers. Today already 14 goals on the Carlton draft. 8 different goal scorers. So impossible to defend against. It's okay to zone when you've got a go-to player like a Jack Riewoldt or a Nick Riewoldt. But Collingwood are loving this. They spread the goals, and you have a look at the space these forwards have got again.
Spud, 94 possessions uncontested in the forward half of the ground. The Collingwood, that's 4 to the centre. The most dangerous time. They've had 94 uncontested to 31.
What's the record, as Stuart?
Come back to you on that one, Spud.
The restart. Leroy Brown just a little boot sideways. Some handballs again. Missed their target for the Tigers. Didak around the body. Long ball. Tarkin Lockyer and Dawes at the front. Takes a good mark.
Super zone fell down again. They don't cover anyone.
Like margarine.
It's just not working.
Chrissy Dawes sees something he likes in
look at the
form of
space.
Beamsy.
Look at this, Jim.
Oh, he just hit Beamsy.
Enough's enough. Enough is enough.
But have a look. If he got up quickly, Tarkin Lockyer is on his own there, 20 metres out from goal. Still no one on Tarkin Lockyer. You can hit Tarkin Lockyer up here if he wants to. Have a look.
All right, maybe enough's not enough. Maybe Damien Hardwick, he's just going to let him go and just try and get the penny to drop at some stage.
No, but then he'll have a look at it at the end of the game and said, you know what, put this in the bottom of the drawer.
Not ready for it, Sputter.
No, they're not.
This is Dane Beams. Go back and kick his team's 15th. Almost 2 identical games happening at the moment. Geelong are giving Brisbane an equal pasting. As Beams, they've got to come back from left to right, and it's not going to. 14-8-92 Collingwood, 4-5-29 Richmond. Triple M, Harvey Norman scoreboard. Head in there and ask their experts about 3D TV, the ultimate home theatre experience.
That's taking nothing away from Collingwood, because I know we've harped on the fact that Richmond are playing a zoning defence, but Collingwood have been far too good today.
And this now is Rance, and he kicked it outside, and it's going to go nearly over the boundary line.
Oh, good effort.
Kept in beautifully by Sidebottom. He turned around and he got it back again. The hand pass ended up with Presti. Prestigiate Como to Maxwell to half forward. Here comes Dawes. Graham couldn't take it. And coming through Rance, giving his all. Too high, was it?
Yeah, too high against Dawes, I think, Rexy, on Rance.
So Rance now, hand pass off to Newman. Newman's kick is Scheissenhausen. Picked up by ball to Didak. And Didak went, well, he could have sold the John went bang.
Just taking a piss.
3 goals to Didak. He had 3 opportunities. Sold the bananas 3 times.
He set up a candy shop, Rex.
It was unbelievable. Sugar diabetes are eating that much candies. And Collingwood 15-8-98, destroying Richmond's soul. Richmond at 4-5-29. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard. You said the 2 games, Geelong and Collingwood. Well, it's clearly the top 2 or 3 teams playing against the bottom 4.
Well, Didak knows that they're playing a zone. So I'll just run he did the little shimmy, did he?
A little shimmy and dance to
Little
himself.
body shimmy did.
He almost sold candy to himself, Jim. He almost balked himself. Watch the celebration after he kicks the goal.
2. Bang.
Righto. It is an extraordinary celebration. It's a little.
15-8-98 Collingwood, 4-5-29 Richmond. And don't worry, Tigers fans in this great stadium, Rex, will hate getting it served up to them like this by the Maggies. Long ball forward. No mark taken by Riewoldt. Second effort okay. In comes O'Brien. Riewoldt. Free kick down to Riewoldt. So Jack, who has 1 goal.
Collingwood have shown you how to zone here, Spud and Jim and Rex. Now that Riewoldt's got a slow play, they all push down, they all take up room. Each one of the men have got their own direct opponent, everyone else filling holes.
Going to have to kick it from outside 50. Good connection. Geez, a good kick.
Great kick.
Unbelievable
That is a
kick.
terrific kick. Long way out. He's got his second. 5-5-35 Richmond. 15-8-98 Collingwood. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard.
He's a superstar. Well, not a superstar. He's a star for the Richmond Footy Club. Was he on the Coleman medal ladder now? Asked Chua, because he's kicked the 2 goals. Not a lot of supply. They've only had the 24 inside 50s, Richmond to 40 to Collingwood. So the Coleman medal, I hope he's still worrying about team football, not worrying about that, but how far in front is he, Ash?
Spud is on 63 goals. He's 9 in front of Barry Hall for Carlton draft.
Who's got to play tomorrow, of course, against Fremantle.
Just a Carlton draft stat here. 19 out of the 23 scoring shots for Collingwood have come through the corridor.
So back in the centre, Angus Graham knocked it out, but Collingwood had...
Penalty, Scotty. Free kick.
So despite the fact that Pendlebury had it, it's going to go back into the centre of the ground. He put it on his right hand and hand passed over to Wellingham. He tripped and it went half forward, but now Richmond trying to get it off through post. He got a hand pass to Webley and down towards the right half forward flank. This is Revolt. Revolt breaks a tackle. Don't try and do too much, son. And it was very, very nice dispossession there by Wellingham. It went out to Beams and Beams got it back to Swan. So Swan now left half back flank, Great Southern stand side, and he just telegraphs the fact that he's going to kick it out to Reed, who got it back now to Swan. Just wrapping up the stats on the Chewers board. The ball went out to Ben Johnson, and he's taken a mark.
He goes with a little one that ends up with Swan.
That's 28 for Swan.
Just keeps getting him. Long to Leroy Brown. Oh, look at those jukes.
Tell you what, though, if you're allowed a starting point with no pressure on, you can jump like that all day.
48 out, Leroy wheels and goes and hits the post. Halfway up. 5-5-35 Richmond, 15-9-99 Collingwood.
Leroy Brown, the informed forward of the comp, you know, Spud. It's just an extraordinary neck.
But you played a lot of football, well, most of your footy
I'd
goes...
like to play in the forward line today.
Exactly, because you've got no defensive elbow on your hip trying to weigh you down, trying to hold you down and jump. They just run and jump.
And they're running where they want as a forward group.
Rance, long to the outer side. Morton parked under the ball, takes a good mark.
155 possessions to 60 in the forward half. 155 to 60.
No. What's the record, Ash Stewart?
Still working that one for you, Spud.
That's almost 3 times.
In the forward half, in the most important half of the ground, Jim.
Back to Asprey, to Connors. Still in defensive 50 over the top. This boy's worked hard.
He's run hard from defence.
Yeah, he goes over the top to Edwards. And Edwards around the body to the wing. That's a mark to Jaden Post. Handball off now to Nahas. Nahas wandered through a couple. Got it to Mitch Farmer. That's some nice vision out to Morton at half forward. Inside 50 now. He goes with a long one. Revolt! Oh, big climb. Couldn't take the mark. Webley went and picked it up. Shoveled the handball back out to Cousins. Arches the back. Has a ping at him. Punt road end and misses. 5-6-36 Richmond. 15-9-99 Collingwood. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard.
It was a good fly from Jack Revolt there. But again, Shane Tuck was in front. I just want to see Jack Revolt.
Torpy. An absolute rocket to the centre of the ground. Daniel Collins went up and he couldn't take it. Overrunning the ball was Nahas. Now the hand pass by McCaffer went picked up by Nahas. Went off to Delidio. He kicked it. Clean bowled was Johnson. This is the Jake King. King hand passed off further. Now it's going to be a chance over there for Martin. And he's kicked it.
It's a goal.
It's a goal. It's a goal to Martin of Richmond. Wonderful goal. Richmond go to 6-6-42. Collingwood a 15-9-99. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard.
I'd still send the message out to Daniel Connors. The torpedo punt that worked in the first quarter, it resulted in a goal because it came over the back. Now Connors again flew third or fourth man up, but he elected to go the mark. Now he didn't quite go over the back. If it had of, his man was sitting there. A big, hard, firm punch from Connors would have been the percentage play on that occasion.
Well, they've kicked all their goals in cluster of twos, Richmond.
So look at the OPSM replay screen. Simon Prestigiu came on. I think, well, I know he's as honest as the day. He thought he touched it on the OPS PM replay screen there.
There's Martin unable to get clean possession, but the kick from Graham ended up with Nason.
The OPSM.
Through comes Morton. Sees the leading Revolt. The kick wasn't great. Revolt turns Presti around and on the left misses near side. So 15-9-99 Collingwood, 6-7-43 Richmond. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard. They kicked 2 in the first quarter, Gary, in a row. Then 2 in the second quarter in a row. And now I've just kicked 2 in the third quarter in a row, Richmond.
You think they'll kick 2 in a row in the fourth quarter?
They may, and that would be amazing if they did. As the bring away for Collingwood. Look at that beautiful kick. Gets the tuck and Lockyer almost on the wing.
And he got it on quickly. It went off to Tuvey. Now this is Wellingham. Kicked a long ball towards Dawes. But coming in nicely, taking the mark there, Farmer.
Now the zone defence worked then. Probably the first time for the day.
Farmer of Richmond looking for tuck, but Pendlebury too experienced and too good in the air for him, and he takes a mark.
And he turns it over.
He got it on a big bad Leroy Brown. Get you in a minute. Hand pass Harry O'Brien. Kicked a long ball down towards Ball. The little boy Ball left the yard. It's a beautiful mark taken by Ball. And what a wonderful mark that was. Go now, Spud.
If Richmond are going to play this zoning defence, Rex, they need to practice to spoil coming back with the flight of the ball, because they're all at sea. Because what they're doing, they're playing in front, they're zoning in front, not zoning up, they're zoning in front and behind. When that ball goes over their head, they're uncomfortable with it. So if they're going to play like this, they need to train for it.
So it's going to be Ball on the left half forward flank. Great Southern stand side, inside 50 at the city end. He lines it up and he drills it to the right. Minor score 15-10, 100 up, chaps, for Collingwood. Richmond 6-7-43. Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard.
I reckon it's been Chris Newman's greatest day today. He's turned it over pretty badly on occasions.
Ball in, short one. Finds the young boy Asprey. Sort of not really a footballer's name, Asprey. It's, this one, Jolly.
That's a spoil.
Smacks it forward. McCaffrey, who's kicked 3 early in the game. It's out. Throw in deep forward 50 for the Magpies. Around the grounds, TAC.
Geelong by 67 points over Brisbane. The Cats 16-8-104. Brisbane 5-7-37, nearing three-quarter time.
Everybody hurts when you speed the TAC to the back, Jolly. Jimmy Possum there, Tuvey had a look at it on the ground, and it's going to be ball up, 30 out from Collingwood's city end goal. A man, as we've said before, Jimmy Possum, with more eye outside his scon than actually in his socket. He's got that sort of eye, Gary.
He has.
They sort of hang out.
And at night, they get another ball up inside forward 50 for the Magpies. At night, 2/3 out. Yes.
He can see straight up, Spud.
Who was that old actor? Don Knotts, was it?
It's like a flounder, got eyes in the top of his head.
That is exactly it. Jimmy Possum there, Alan Tuvey. It's inside forward 50 for Collingwood, and there he is. That was Possum on cue, but he was unable to get boot to ball.
So they expand at night, do they?
They head out.
He comes into his own in a night game, the Possum.
They come out.
Like a flathead and a flounder, always looking up.
That's the one. He's about 35 out from Collingwood's goal with this bounce. No one touches it. Jolly comes through.
Three-quarter time.
Apple in the trap is over the top. Rance. He's going to get it back here. Rance, he can't, because Edwards had his arm pinned. Eventually got the kick. Push up King, high contact.
Well, he gets the free kick there against Tyson Goldsack.
Jake the King kicked a long ball to a lead further from
beautiful
Morton.
Kick.
Morton did wonderfully well. Took a mark, hand pass off Nason. Ran to 50. Kicked a little chip kick. Who to? To Reed. Goodness gracious me, they did all the hard, fast work. They kicked it to the opposition. Reed said, thank you very much. The ball out to the left half-back flank. Now it's going to be young Sidebottom to take the position and get it off to Tarkin Lockyer. And he brought it back into defensive 50 and got it to Ben Johnson. So Ben Johnson on the left boot, got it out to Luke Ball, looking more at home every game he plays for the Carringbush. This is Didak. Didak's little chip kick went to Lockyer, who took a mark in front of the Richmond skipper Newman, who hasn't fired a shot today, and he's got a few mates.
No hard tags from the Tigers. Jakey King has been okay, but he certainly hasn't been going shoulder to shoulder with Didak.
So here comes the ball now from Johnson. Got it back to centre half, back to Reed. And Reed now has got Thomas, but he didn't go to him. He's going to go out wide. And out wide there to O'Brien. Siren sounds. Third quarter dominated by Collingwood. They kicked 5 goals to 2. And at three-quarter time, the game well and truly tied up for Collingwood on the Triple M Harvey Norman scoreboard. Collingwood a 15-10-100. Richmond a 6-7-43. And around the grounds for the TAC to the two-man.
Thanks, Rex. Geelong by 66 points over Brisbane. Geelong 16-8-104 to Brisbane 5-8-38, 30 minutes into the third quarter.
And at the MCG, three-quarter time, Collingwood by 57 points, 15-10-100 to Richmond 6-7-43. Gaz, Spud, Rex, Doc, and the two-man next. That was all on the Harvey Norman scoreboard, by the way. That's thanks to McDonald's. Triple M rocks football.
This quarter was brought to you by Harvey Norman, the 3D TV destination. Come in for a 3D TV experience.
From McDonald's.
Triple M rocks football.
Here's how you win cash with Triple M's new contest, First Word.
You've got to tell me what the first word of the song is. Once. 300 bucks is all yours.
And here's how to kiss that cash goodbye.
Okay, Dave.
All right.
Hamada the actress.
Who?
Hamada.
Yep.
He said Hamada.
We cannot give it to you because you haven't got the exact word.
Triple M's First Word, the most addictive game on radio. Play all day at work on 105.1 Triple M.
It was a Friday afternoon, got a call from a site supervisor in a panic, realised that he had no stock on site, had a plumber arriving Monday morning nice and early. We loaded up the car, I made sure his goods were out there that afternoon, so that way that his plumber was ready to start early Monday morning, and we actually made his weekend.
It has to be, it has to be, it has to be.
It has to be Born.
So, call the boys at Bourne. That's me, Nick, on 1300 Bourne and ask for the trade desk. Because at Bourne Bathroom and Kitchen Centres, we're there for our builders.
Renewal. It's a funny word. When you get your car insurance renewal notice, I bet you don't even think about it. But renewal means you can renew something. Why stick with the same old thing if it's a renewal? At iSelect, you can choose from a wide range of car insurance policies. You could even find a cheaper deal to suit your driving needs. When it's time for your next renewal, check iSelect. You might even feel renewed. Compare, select and save with iSelect. Call 13 19 88 or visit iselect.com.au.
G'day, Doc Larkins here. These days, most sports injuries take just weeks to heal. But for people injured at work, the pain, suffering and financial loss can last a lot longer. Yet surprisingly, they often do nothing about it. If you've been injured at work and have any doubts about whether you are eligible for compensation, call No Wiki Carbone Lawyers on 1300-INJURED. No win, no charge. Conditions apply. Talk to them now without obligation on 1300-INJURED.
Sign up early for the 2010 St George Melbourne Marathon Festival and you could win one of 10 running packs crammed with great gear from St George Bank, ASICS, the Coffee Club, Runners World Magazine and Powerade. Enter now on the win page at triplem.com.au. Early bird entries close July 31.
What if you could wave winter goodbye with an awesome Gold Coast accommodation deal? Rooms from just $80 per night at whatif.com. Surely the best Gold Coast winter deal you ever thought. Catch the next wave to the Gold Coast. Book online at whatif.com. Conditions apply.
Harvey Norman's Everything iPod Sale. If it works with iPod, it's priced to go. All iPod accessories up to 30% off. Logitech speaker docks from $29. 2-for-1 Sony iPod clock radio deal. Get both for $127. Sensational. iPod Nano deal. Your choice of color. Only $158 for the 8GB model. iPod Touch with 8GB memory. $229 with a bonus USB charger valued at $29.95. Plus up to 30% off headphones, cases, chargers, FM transmitters, screen protectors and iPod docks. Everything iPod Sale ends this weekend at Harvey Norman.
We sold our apartment about 3 months ago. Our agent booked in Open to View. We got them in to photograph the property, and when we saw the results, it was amazing how much better the place looked. It was the main reason that we got the price we wanted for our apartment. I definitely would recommend using Open to View.
Does your agent use Open to View? High quality photos, virtual tours and floor plans from Open to View can add thousands to your sale price. So why cut corners? Selling your home's a snap with Open to View. Available at leading estate agents. opentoview.com.au.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
From McDonald's.
Triple M rocks football.
This quarter is brought to you by Lockwood. If you haven't locked up with Lockwood, have you really locked up?
Oh, we're seeing frightening stuff.
Oh, no.
Frightening stuff.
Dr. Smooth has not got his mind on the job down there.
Smooth's got other business to attend to down on the boundary there,
Come on,
Smooth.
Smooth.
What are you doing down there,
It's
Smooth?
disgraceful work. And got no microphone.
That's extraordinary. At three-quarter time, 57 points. The lead for Collingwood.
Smooth entertaining the fairer sex down on the boundary. Oh, it's extraordinary stuff. As we get to the back of the room here, the best in the business, Gary Lyon, and of course Bud Frawley.
Very, very polished performance from Collingwood. They haven't really been extended or asked the question too much. We've had some individual highlights, some brilliance from the likes of Didak. Swan continues on his merry way. The Silk of Pendlebury's been great to watch. I think Ben Johnson's done a really good job. He and Cousins have been going at it. Not much to dislike about the way Collingwood have gone about it, Spud. But I think the talking point for us out of this is this inclination for the Richmond defence to go into a zone situation when really I don't think they're that far advanced. So they're not ready for it. Maybe it's teaching them bad habits. It's certainly letting Collingwood forwards off the hook. They're going down and haven't had shoulder-to-shoulder pressure on them all day. And really, that uncontested possessions in the forward half stat that Chua keeps giving to us is absolutely mind-blowing.
It's 102 to 44 Collingwood's way, Spud.
Just that is enough for me to say, right, let's get back to one-on-one.
There's no doubt in that. And I have a look at Richmond's back half. I think Damien Hart will still go with it for the whole game, unless he says, you know what, we need to go back to what made us a good young emerging team and play one-on-one. At the moment they look like they're going one-on-one, Gary.
Well, I like that much more, Spud Regal, although the back couple of defenders aren't.
We bounced the ball to start this final term. Nahas tried to come through, so did Blair. A couple of big men there going at it. Eventually it came out via Martin. Inching kick forward straight to Johnson, and he'll go by hand to Swan. Swan, a little one around the body. And Tarkin Lockyer's got it on the outer side.
Leave me out of that. So the ball now on the right wing position. Great Southern stand side. Lockyer went. Davis is there. It's got to be a free kick.
It stopped. Newman, your kick. Can't just throw him out the way, Dane.
Can't just throw him out of the way, and Newman gets a free kick, one of his few at 8. And it went out now to Mitch Morton. Morton now on the opposite right back flank, and he'll go to centre half back and get it out there to McGuan. So the hand passes on, and it went on further afield to Polo and dealt it with Pendlebury. Pendlebury chicked it towards Davis, and Asprey came in front of Davis, took a mark and got it out to Rance.
Yeah, Blair Gaz, he also had the goals.
Yeah, kick the goal, son.
Look at the strength of Martin. Just brushed a tackle off. Stood up, gave it to Cousins. Cousins to a man by the name of Jeremy Webley, who gets thrown over the line by Johnson. And it'll be thrown in right in front of us, and a busy Smooth. Boundary line.
He's too busy.
100 to 43. He's sheepish down there, Smooth.
He's got his hands full.
He has. Something. Well, and the Nike gear, he does look a treat as this ball gets handballed forward. Lockyer picked it up, left foot down the line, looking for Dane Beams. Good mark.
Well, again, there's Brett Delidio, who's his direct opponent, right? Now, Delidio's, it would seem that what they want from him is to be the great rebounding halfback, which he's done so very well, but you lose the absolute fierceness and competitive aspect of playing one-on-one. So the ball comes into a one-on-one situation. He's so used to being off his man that he just didn't go hard enough or spoil the ball more aggressively enough.
Dane Beams. Boundary-ish. Punt road end, left forward pocket. Improves the angle slightly, and that kick ain't coming back enough. And it's through for a behind. 15-11, 101. Collingwood, 6-7-43. Richmond. TAC, everybody hurts when you speed. Chua, what's happening at Skill?
Geelong by 60 points over Brisbane. Early stages into the final quarter.
Thank you very much, Ash. Triple M rocks football thanks to McDonald's at the MCG. This is Newman, the skipper of Richmond. Kicked it to himself outside. McGuan put a finger up, can't take it. Now it's going to be a hand pass by Beams. Ended up with Harry O. O'Brien broke the tackle and hand passed it back to Reid. Reid got it back now, side bottom, hand passed along. Here they come along the boundary, and Dawes now straightens it up towards the goal. Oh, Davis at the back, and Davis has kicked the goal. He just waited like a pigeon for a crumb, but he went whack, and Davis has got his third. And Collingwood are just murdering Richmond, particularly around the crumbing area. Collingwood 16-11, 107. Richmond 6-7-43. Triple M Lockwood scoreboard. If you're left home and haven't locked up with Lockwood, you haven't actually locked up.
3 Richmond players in the marking contest, all spoiling. Just not enough legs on the ground, and the spoil didn't clear the immediate area. So Leon Davis, like a good small crummer, was just sitting there and it fell in his lap spud.
Again, if you're zoning defence, especially playing on a player like Davis, that's the most vulnerable spot. So if you're giving him 5 metres, that's his bread and butter, Leon Davis. They're playing him back into form. Contested possessions also. Collingwood have had 23 in their back half. Richmond have only had 14.
63-point margin in favour of the Magpies. They're going to have another forward 50 entry here. Lockyer taken in an Edwards tackle. And they hover over the footy. There will be a bounce at centre half forward. 16-11, 107 Collingwood, 6-7, 43 Richmond. That is a big, big lead on the Triple M Lockwood scoreboard. As Rex said, if you haven't locked up with Lockwood, have you really locked up? Here comes Leon. Turns a couple inside out, but the handball a little astray. And Rance, he's had plenty of it, sure.
Carlton draft stats, he's racked up 14 disposals.
He's just had another 2 there. Across the face of goal, dangerous ball here. Swan takes a very good mark. He can play this boy.
He looked to dish it off.
He's tucked against the line. He's got Dawes on short.
Yeah, look at the zone. Anyway.
Lockyer. Anyway.
He's going to kick it himself, Spud Regis.
Well, he needs to at the end because Lockyer and Dawes were on their own.
They were. Tight go. The kick is going to miss near side. 16-12, 108 Collingwood, 6-7, 43 Richmond. Lockwood scoreboard.
There's a kill to be had if they want it right now, Collingwood. If they want to bang on 8-1 or 8-2, they're very, very capable of doing it. It's just how aggressive and hungry they are.
And they lead by just under 11 goals on the Lockwood scoreboard on Triple M football. So at the punt road end of the stadium, Newman picks out the player in Mitch Morton, and he takes a good mark in front of Jared Blair.
Been given another role, a different role. Morton playing in the back half.
Morton kicked a long ball down to Andrew Brown of Richmond. Can't take it. Running onto it, Weberley, Jeremy Weberley. And the umpire said it's over the boundary line. Right in front of the Doc, who seems to be just cooling off at the moment. So the boundary umpire's got it, and he's going to fling it back in with Andrew Brown going up in ruck against Leroy Brown. One with a knee, the other without one. The one without a knee got it over the back. Now the scrimmage is there for Polo to get a hand pass across. It went down from Connors and on further to Newman to half forward. Inside 50, very strange for Richmond to go inside 50. Harry O'Brien can't take it. Nason tapped it on. But Harry O's a star and he got it outside. With the mark taken over there by Morton.
Turned it over a little bit today though, Harry O'Brien. What's he going by foot as Stewart?
Connors, I think, has got the footy.
Carlton draft stats, Spuddy's going at 50% kicking efficiency.
Gets around Connors and has a ping at him and kicks it into the crowd. Has not been a good day for the Tiggies.
Well, it hasn't, and it started during the week. The coaching staff at Richmond average 125 contested possessions. Now, they've only got 80. They're going to get anywhere near their average contested possessions because of this zone. Also, their tackles, they're going to be down another 25% as well. So, they've been really good. They've been hard, they've been accountable, and they've had a really solid starting point of beating their man today. Collingwood will love this training session.
Beams to O'Brien. And a man we like to call Obi. Just out wide to Steele, side bottom, an emerging young player. And he has it at half-back out of side. We're going to just switch things now back to Thomas. Thomas has got Reid on. Mendes side of the ground. And then Reid down the line to Tuck and Lockyer. Lots of space there for Lockyer to work into. Dawes hits up at him.
Of course there's lots of space. The Tigers are doing a great job of guarding grass and not much else.
Dawes to Didak. Ball got to the back. And I think it might have been Martin who smashed into the ground and has hurt himself.
He's a tough boy too, Dustin Martin, so he's still down. Very slow to get up.
Might have been a head crack on the ground, a whiplashy sort of job.
Ribsy.
Yeah, he's just hurt it. He's dinged himself, Gary.
Dinged it, yeah.
It's Mitch Farmer. It's a handball back to Polo. In fact, it was McGuan and then Newman and Nason in the back pocket.
So Nason
going to come back this way, Rexy.
He is to Asprey. And Asprey's got it, and he kicked it out. This is Delidio off the right half-back flank member's side, and a lead further afield.
That's better.
Nice mark there by Post.
This is coming up for his first kick, but he doesn't. He handballs.
And Wilbur Post hand pass across. The ball ended up with Tuck. Tuck in towards Edwards. He's gone. That's holding the ball. No idea. Absolutely no idea.
Playing against the big boys. When you're playing against the sides that are down the bottom, got younger bodies, and perhaps drop away in the last quarter, you might get away with that, young Edwards, but not against the team that's sitting on top of the AFL ladder.
So a long ball by Dawes down a Big Jolly over the back. Pendlebury kicked it on towards Tuck and Lockyer. Lockyer goes up and takes the mark and plays on and goes back and finds Beams 34 metres out directly in front the punt road end to line up for the Carringbush's 17th goal.
And also the Richmond defenders, they'll go back into the rooms after this game and say, well, we haven't competed. I feel good. Physically, mentally I'm distraught because I'm all over the place. I don't know whether to guard space or my direct opponent. Need to go back and make what makes us a good, young, honest team, hip on hip.
So Collingwood's Beams. He's going to come in and drill a goal. 17 goals for Collingwood. Collingwood 17-12, 108. 17-12, 114 that is. Richmond 6-7-43. Triple M Lockwood scoreboard at Destruction Park today.
Yeah, well, it's disappointing. Really is. They haven't liked it one little bit in the back half for the Tigers. Everything else, you can accept and deal with, and okay, younger team. But I think we've said a couple of times, the thing that has made this Richmond side, at least win respect, is that they never turned it up. They put their head down and they competed strongly, even when they copped beltings early in the year. Well, today they've had a structure in place that hasn't allowed them to compete, and that is a really disappointing aspect of the match.
You can see Smooth on the move down there, so we're going to get down to him directly for SBC Manbeans.
Which way?
Out comes Swan. We might be having a look at Ben Cousins. Ball on the ground. Leroy Brown picked it up, gave it to Didak, who went to ground himself. Was unable to extricate the footy out of there. Scramble at half forward for the Magpies. No one really clean over the footy. Umpire lets it go a long time, and now he's going to bounce it down to you, Doc, SBC Manbeans.
Yeah, it was actually Dustin Martin. We saw him take that heavy hit just in the lower back, right in the small of the back. He stayed on for a couple of minutes. He just came off on rotation. The physios just chatted with him, but just more a little bit cork in that hit he took 2 minutes ago.
Pendlebury got it back to Thomas. Thomas just walked on through, and then a little one was nice to Luke Ball, just outside 50, punt road end. Luke Ball, low and long. A fly at the back, Leon lurks. Look at the pickup from Leon. And the handball was too slick for Jolly, didn't see it coming. And it's out of play, deep punt road end.
Yeah, Jolly just had a look at Leon. Sorry, mate. I wasn't ready for that slick handball at ground level.
So the umpire chucks the football back in, and it's knocked out by Graham. Overrunning the ball there, side bottom. Davis is on top, McGuan's on the bottom. And make that what you will, as the umpire will put it down centre half forward, punt road in for the Magpies.
Carlton draft stats, top four leading ball winners on the ground, all Collingwood. 32 to Swan, 26 to Pendlebury, 23 to Johnson, 21 to Didak.
Knocked out by Jolly, went to Pendlebury, all tied up by Edwards. Play on to the umpire, the ball's in there somewhere. Davis got it out to Thomas. Thomas hand passed to Beams. Beams is dispossessed by Polo, who hand passed to Duck, who hand passed it hopefully to McGuan. McGuan got a hand pass across. Nahas got it and kicked a long ball out looking for the J. King.
Oh, Brown's ran into King.
Collided with Graham. And the ball, no, that's Brown. And it goes to half forward. And Wellingham's got it. Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
He is a tough little bastard, Jake King.
Yeah, well, Andrew Brown had to protect him. He had no idea. We look on the OPSM replay screen. Brown.
Sheepers.
What was he thinking, the young fella?
Yak, a tough moment, but when he wakes up, he'll get a pair of yakkers. He'll need more than that at the moment. He needs some smelling salts.
Come on, Brownie.
And Wellingham, goodness me, it's like one of those clowns you put the ping pong balls in.
Push-up didn't even feel it.
He's coming off for the blood rule. There's Andrew Brown, the big boy. He's got a different looking shag, that's for sure.
He's built
different look. Just he's sort of big lad.
No, he's got to understand that when your teammate's coming back with a flight, A, you don't go charging into his territory, and B, you especially don't go charging in with your opponent, and C, you don't go charging in with your opponent and hit him in the head.
Well,
he did all three of them.
He's a big Mansfield boy, Gary.
One of Ned's boys.
One of Ned's boys, Brownie.
Well, if he's been listening to the buzzard, it's not surprising he did that.
So, Sharad Wellingham, centre-half forward, comes in at the pump road into the stadium and kicks it behind the stick. Minor score. Collingwood 17-13, 115. Richmond 6-7, 43. Triple M Lockwood scoreboard today at the MCG.
13 scoring shots to 30. Could be a hell of a lot worse.
For the TAC Chua Skilled Stadium.
Geelong lead Brisbane by 62 points, 11 minutes into the final quarter.
And we've now got a ball on the ground at half forward for Collingwood. Well done, Martin. Handball to Tuck and then Nahas over the top. Webley has got Cousins running with him. Handball from Webley was a shocker. Now he's taken in the Thomas tackle. Went back to post. Very slow to release the footy. Thomas came back in. He was dispossessed. Post came back in. Cousins walked into about 3 tacklers. And away come Collingwood. Luke Ball, left foot ball. Very good lockout. Wellingham will handball over the top to Dawes.
Look at Leon Davis.
And Wellingham will get it back. Leon all alone. Centering Pill. Leroy Brown at the back. Couldn't take it. Through comes the tiny little man Blair.
Wee man.
He was unable to take it. Through side bottom. Picked up Davis. Collingwood another one. Leon's got 4. They are absolutely poleaxing Richmond at the MCG. Collingwood 18-13, 121 to 6-7, 43. Triple M Lockwood scoreboard.
Now, Jim Boy, I've got an old fullback beside me who is getting increasingly agitated. At some stage, it's not going to happen. You're dead right.
Yeah.
But no accountability. No accountability with his zone. It's been a disgrace, in actual fact.
Well, Leon Davis, he hasn't had his best year, but Richmond's style of play, and this is taking nothing away from Collingwood or Leon, because you're right, he's the leading goal scorer on the ground. They have played him to form, because when that ball inside the forward 50, he was on his own by 50 metres. He didn't get the first entry, he didn't get the third one, the fourth mistake, but he was there to get the fifth one, and he still had no one on him. So, well done Leon for finding space, but Damien Hardwick will put this in the bottom drawer and says, boys, we need to go back and play honest footy.
4 goals to Davis. That's a season high for him. Carlton draft stats.
Well, quick possession out of the centre. Side bottom, no man on him. Gets a mark.
Ball to side bottom to Didak, and it's just a procession. 78 points is the margin. Didak on the left boot went down. Here's a bit of a go. Blair can't take it. The hand pass came out towards half back. Rance got it to Connors. Got it over there to Nason. Nason got it back. Now it's going to be Asprey to kick a long to Connors rather, and kick a long ball to centre half back. So the Tigers now with Cousins. Cousins went forward. They decided to come back and got it to Asprey. Centre half back, punt road end.
He's going to look to switch again, Asprey. He punches a low drop punch, shows a lot of it to Leroy Brown, but Rance takes the mark at half back. And then Connors, still at half back. Rexy's lost all the fisherman's friends out of the box. Nason, right in front of Smooth. Kick partially smothered.
We'll just have a look at Smooth.
And this is Swan. Handball forward to McCaffer. McCaffer's got either Leon or Leroy on. Get to Leroy Brown, centre half forward ball.
Not a good kick.
Goes to a 1-on-4 here. Deledio won it. Then he was taken in a tackle. Tuck got it away. Cousins on his bootlaces was able to pick it up. Go back to Tuck. Tuck to Polo. Needs a good bounce. Sort of pushed his way through a couple. And then a left foot inside 50. Revolt will get there on the bounce. And it was just led to the footy.
Well,
Reed.
Christie's been given a spell from Jack Revolt. Free kick, it went out of bounds on the full off his feet.
They couldn't win one with a handful of 5 as the Tigers, as Harry O'Brien on centre wing breaks a tackle. Runs away now and takes a bounce. He's still got a little kick in. It went up and down. Here comes a young boy in Blair, but a turnover. The hand pass ended up by Tuck and went to Nahas. Nahas hand passed on the wing to Cousins and got it back to Nahas. To the left half forward flank. Hand passed over the top. Now the Jake King. on the left boot. Spun a football in towards Revolt. And a sack did it well. The gold sack man turned around. He ran through the gap. Revolt grabbed him, but he broke the tackle and got it up to Reed. And Reed to McCaffer. Got it back now towards Maxwell. Maxwell's kick is no good. The turnover by Newman went to Polo on a long ball, and here comes Jolly. He busted the pack open to Goldsack. Goldsack hand pass to Thomas. Thomas to Pendlebury. Pendlebury to McCaffer. Back to Pendlebury.
Tackles inside forward 50 for each side, Chua, when you get a second.
Yeah, Carlton draft stats, 8 to Collingwood, just a 6 to Richmond.
Well, Richmond wouldn't have the opportunity to tackle JB because it's been uncontested.
Amazing, isn't it? Polo off to Morton.
Collingwood, sorry.
And here goes Tuck with a long one. 1 on 2 here, Revolt. Unable to get anywhere near it. He's got a despondent look about his body language, Jack.
Yeah, he hasn't been up and about all day. Presty did a great job on him, and now Reed's just going to finish him off.
Thomas to the outer side to a 1 on 2. Cousins has kept presenting. Handball inboard, not great, however. He may get this back bend, Cousins. They go inside now. And standing under the foot is our man, Big Brownie.
Big brown dog. Big Brownie from Mansfield.
The big Mansfield animal.
Yeah, he's a big lump of lad. How old is he, Chew Man?
Who's that, sorry?
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown, 20 years of age.
Tell you what, he needs to speak to the property man about the holiday resorts.
The shorts.
Got the big poop catchers.
Look at the size of it.
Brownie.
SM, small marquee.
This will be his first goal in footy if he manages to kick it. Big Andrew Brown. Drop punt. You got to lean up early. And just a behind for Brownie.
I tell you what he has got, Jim.
Yep.
He's got the Josh Fraser, also a Mansfield boy. He's got the Josh Fraser hairstyle.
Yep.
And it's slowly going to dust off, and by the time he's 24, he ain't going to have any.
Yep. So, suggestion for him, drag one early and hang on to it. Goldsack. Hang on to her, Gary. O'Brien.
Don't leave it late, Brownie. Don't.
And when you get a bit older and you take it to the rubber, stay around her.
Don't wait.
Leon gets a handball off the beams, runs to half forward. It's broken right down. It's broken right down as Leroy Brown picks it up. He kicks his third. It is a procession at the punt road end. 19-13, 127 Collingwood, 6-8-44 Richmond. Other game, TAC Chua.
Thanks, JB. Geelong leading Brisbane by 68 points. The Cats 19-11, 125. Brisbane 8-10, 58. 18 into the final quarter.
I don't think they want 100. They want 100, the Magpies. They should want 100, the Magpie supporters. This is their arch enemy who've been on the march a bit. It's 83 points, plenty of time. I reckon that'd be just what they'd be looking for.
And what about the Carlton draft? The marks or the goals inside 0 to 30?
Yep.
As sure. Like Collingwood, let Leon Davis again, he's full forward. There's no one within 40 metres of him, Gary, at the centre bounce. Have a look at that.
It's incredible, Spud. It deserves a 100-point hiding the way they've set up in the back half.
Spud, it's 10-2 Collingwood's way, goals inside 30.
So Richmond go forward, but here comes the sack. Goldsack got it across to Thomas, and Thomas's little chip kick found Didak, who got it on to Maxwell. The Collingwood skipper back to Didak, and a little chip kick going back with a fly to the ball. Pendlebury, that is just courage. In front of Delidio, took the mark and got the link hand pass on to Johnson. And jumping high was Jared Blair, like a fox terrier over a sandcastle. And on the left half forward flank on the members' side, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Leon still wanted to get it back into the crowd, but it's over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I'm glad this style of play has been smashed today, because if that's the modern game, I won't watch it much, and I'm just glad that Richmond have been smacked in their back half by having a big leg rope on their direct opponents.
So Asprey kicked the long ball outside 50, and Edwards is going to go up. No, he didn't go up against Swan. The ball ricochets to Thomas, who hand passed it back to Johnson, who kicked it out on the full. It's party time for the Magpies. They lead by 83 points.
They're in good form, the Magpies. Don't make any mistake about that. They are in very good nick. Pendlebury, Swan, Thomas, Didak, they're all the good players. I reckon Reed's been a revelation. Presty gets the job done. Goldsack's been good. They're in good, very good form.
Takes that mark there, Gary. Unattended Goldsack.
Jolly.
Handball off to Jolly, and then Swan. How many, Chua?
34 disposals.
That's a game average for him.
Yeah, he's back right off in the second half, Swanee. I reckon they preserve serving him a bit.
Side bottom back to Jolly, and the sack could get on the end of this.
Heath Shaw, we spoke to pre-game to come back in. Travis Cloak to come back in.
Kick for Didak. Allowed the ball to bounce. Look at the leg speed now of Didak. Just stretches past Edwards. Kicks to Dawes, a little strong. At the back, the tiny little man Blair. Gets a handball inboard here. Swan again, the work rate. And he straightens up to Wellingham with a beautiful ball. Leon at the back, can he make it 5? Handball off to side bottom, then to Wellingham. Can't strip the tackle, that should be holding the ball. Play on's called. Richmond end up getting it out of there. Cousins backs out and gets the handball to Rance.
Well, they're getting a lesson here, Richmond. They reckon they're up and about, but not like Collingwood. It'd be a good game between Brisbane and Richmond. The ball came back to Polo, got it off to Delidio. Delidio broke the tackle. He's a class player, but he's just playing a one-man band down there to Rance. It's like shoveling the deck chairs on the Titanic. That was a head-high tackle. The ball went forward, and the mark has been taken by Asprey. So, a bit disappointed, I think, the 66,500 that are here today, as Cousins comes out and gets it to Angus Graham.
Yeah, 66,727 to be absolutely exact, to be Rexonald, and I agree.
Smart play by Dale Thomas here. He backed off the mark on Graham and wouldn't allow him to handball over. So.
Oh, Webley!
Oh, Webble.
He got Polak's Jeremy Webley.
Got hit Webley hard.
Blair over the top to Beams, to Didak. Didak the handball to Pendlebury. Pendlebury long one-on-one here. Rance and Davis. And Rance did pretty well to hold the little man out. Now it's going to go over and be thrown in deep punt road end.
The forward half stats again. Uncontested possessions, Collingwood 132, Collingwood 56. Uncontested marks, Collingwood 44, Richmond 14. Contested marks, Collingwood 13, Richmond 4.
Geelong by 62 points, courtesy of the TAC in the other game. And that's near full time as well, as we get another bounce. Inside forward 50 for Collingwood. Punt road end. 25 gone here. It is 44 to 127. Triple M Lockwood scoreboard. Check it out online. The new range of door furniture, including the keyless entry, as Wellingham was unable to bring the footy away. Swan brought it around the body looking for doors, but McGawan eventually took the mark. Broken up though. Walking through was Jimmy Possum, but Tuvey was unable to complete it.
His eyes lit up.
He did, and again they break it up inside forward 50. This is Lee Brown to Goldsack. And Goldsack can't find an entry in, so he goes back to Lee Brown. A little sideways one to Thomas. And then O'Brien from downtown can hit a long ball. Leon at the back, one hand, couldn't take it. It's going to be thrown in.
Free kick against Leon using the hands.
Hands in the back.
So the free kick is going to go to Murray Rance's son. He's in the left back pocket at the punt road end on the members' side. And getting very dark here, but the game was shot a long, long time ago. And the sack, he's doing beautifully, Goldsack. He's making his mark. He said, I'm not going to be put out of the side. So the sack went in towards Harry O'Brien, and right over the top, one-handed revolt. The ball now in the hands of McCaffer. He tapped it on, but running away revolt. He was waiting, and he waited too long.
Well done. Great tackle for a whole range of reasons.
Tuvey or not Tuvey? That was a question, and he said, I'm going to show you just what good sides do. So Tuvey on the left boot got it out to Thomas. The boy Thomas from Gippsland kicked it towards Jolly, and Jolly at his third club has taken a mark. So Jolly now will come back to the centre wing and get it to Ben Reid. Reid now will get it back to Thomas. And this is just, as Spud and Gary said, a training run for Collingwood. They've just had a workout today. The ball goes back to Goldsack, and Goldsack kicks it to Didak.
And Didak around to himself, which I love. And then wider still to McCaffrey. What were the reasons, Spud, for that great tackle?
The reasons were Jack Revolt's last option was to handball. He had 4 or 5 options to handball the ball. He didn't want to. He wanted to kick the goal himself.
He's going to get on the end of this via the bounce. Goldsack. Close attendance around the body, Revolt. It bounces and bounces the wrong side and behind, and a couple of Richmond players
look
going.
Look at Cousins and Farmer lined up in the middle of the ground. And Jack, that ain't good enough, son. That is not good enough.
Damien Hardwick needs to put his foot fair and square on Revolt's forehead now. If he allows this to get away, he's creating a monster.
Revolt missed with that attempted soccer off the ground. Strong tackling here from Collingwood. It's picked up by Tuck, and he Kicks it behind to the city end. 19-13, 127 Collingwood, 6-9-45 Richmond. Triple M Lockwood scoreboard.
Yeah, Jack Riewoldt, his body language hasn't been great. It's about team. That's the message should go to Jack Riewoldt now. Play team football.
So Swan kicked it out towards Wellingham, and he can't take it. Ball over the boundary line and out of bounds.
And he's coming off the ground, which I think is a really good move from Damien Harvick. I think Spud made an interesting point. Nip it in the bug now, or you're creating a monster. So I think the next 6 weeks is critically important for Riewoldt.
So there it is. 66,727 have seen Collingwood go bang. They kick 19-13, 127 to defeat Richmond 6-9-45.
So maybe he's one of those characters that just draws your eye, but I just watched Jack Riewoldt go and shake hands with Simon Prestigiacomo. It was lame, Spud. He didn't look him in the eye. He was looking down the ground. Ranked second in the comp for tackles inside the forward 50 is Jack Riewoldt.
How many do you have today?
Donut. 0. Nil. Zilch. None at all. So anyway, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It was a horrible day for him. It was a horrible day for his footy side. I don't reckon it was a great day for his coach. And I don't say that too often. But they've got a bit of credit in the bank over the last 6 or 8 weeks. They're on the right track. I don't know what happened today. I don't know what happened with their back half setup. I don't know what happened with Jack, but they took a backward step. And I don't know who they play next week, true man, but it's important that they get back on the bike.
They play Adelaide at the MCG for Carlton Draft.
But Collingwood, their stars, they all come to play today. Dane Swan's averaged 36 disposals the last 6 weeks. Today went one better. He got 37. He had 16 contested possessions. That's the way to play football. Win the hard ball, use it well. He kicked 1 goal too. Pendlebury's having an outstanding year. He's had 30. Didak, terrific. 28 disposals, 3 goals. Probably one of the better players on the ground. The contested possessions, that tells a great story. Collingwood 142, Richmond 99. And it's a bit about the way Richmond played. They zoned off, so they forgot their starting point. They've been honest. They've been hard all year. Today they went into this zoning type press, which sent a message to their brain to say all we're going to do is run and play uncontested football. I don't think I like it. I'm sure the Richmond supporters don't like it because they've been really tough and honest so far this year. So I admire Damon Harwick to try things, but I think that experiment today will be put into the basket for a while when they get a few more games under their young team.
Ben Johnson's 200, so they'll cheer him from the ground. Here he goes.
He's been a beauty. Absolute beauty, Benny Johnson. Thought he was cooked about 2 years ago with a knee injury. He's had some big scalps. Milne last week, he was outstanding. He gives them plenty of run. And again today, he's had the 26 disposals. More importantly, his ball use has really improved. 94% kicking effectiveness to Benny Johnson, the 200 gamer.
No histrionics on the ground anymore, Gary, from Collingwood. They're business-like. They're just getting on with it. They're on top of the ladder. It's a real lid on it feel about the joint.
Yeah, no doubt. And I like the way that they cheered off Ben Johnson. Yeah, it was a genuine cheer off. Sometimes you go through the motions because it's a done thing, but I think they're really excited for Ben Johnson, and it's a good thing. Great game from him today. Very, very professional performance from the Magpies. I like them. I like the way they're playing. No selfishness about the side. They've got great depth, as we've spoken about today. Josh Fraser sits out. Medhurst sits out, can't get a look in. Cloak didn't play today. He Shaw didn't play today. You got O'Brien sitting there if you need him. You got younger blokes. Jackson Barham's another one that's played footy. I'm not sure whether he's right up to this level, but he's just been giving them a nice taste. And they're going to belt the song out again, Jimmy boy. I think you're on the money. They won't go over the top here.
They've just got a nice feel about their whole setup. There we are.
Bit of water flying around. It was meant for Ben Johnson, the 200 gamer. Splashed on a couple of others.